Let's shoot. Let's shoot. No, I'm not going to do the whole song because this is not the Addams Family. This is the Shoot Brothers. The one and only Shoot Brothers podcast, hosted by myself, Mike the Shoot Shepherd, Cameron Thunder Osborne.
Shoot, shoot, bang, bang, baby.
We got a lot. Yes, people have been shot. We got a lot of wrestling. Gears have been turned, fully rotated. A lot of shit's happened, I guess, in the wrestling world. Title matches, championships have changed hands. Lots of good wrestling matches all across the board this week. We got all that and more.
Amen. Amen. That's right, Mike. And you're really burying the lead on the big episode 101. We officially start the
Of course, how
climb
could I miss that?
back to that centennial mark. And I think it's as if we're starting on episode 1 right now, Mike. Do you remember what episode 1? Do you remember anything about episode 1?
The Elimination Chamber.
The Elimination Chamber, of course.
I'll never forget the debut of the women's tag titles.
Wait, what a big week to kick off the show,
yeah.
too. Of course, Sarah Logan.
I think that's why we picked it. You know, we had been cooking the show for a little bit, some dark episodes that the fans will never see, but
yeah, Shoot Brothers Dark.
That was our debut.
we released that on a different podcast.
That's bonus content, Patreon level 3.
Yeah, yeah, that's the Patreon. If you subscribe to the Patreon, you'll get all the unreleased dark episodes.
We're digging into the archives.
That's right.
The Disney Vault.
And just like episode 1 was a big week with a big pay-per-view, I guess it seems like 101 is a big week with another big pay-per-view because we had some AEW this past weekend. Let's just go right into it. Let's get right into some Full Gear.
Review. Full Gear. Okay.
2020. Long-ass show.
Very long.
Very long.
But, you know, this was a rare occasion where you and I actually got to watch the show together in person.
So ideally, it would have gone on forever.
I think there was a couple fight forever chance. So, but a long show. We didn't watch most of the buy-in. We just saw the match. That was the only important part, right?
I think so. Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah.
I think they kind of kept just pumping up. You know, a lot of those pre-match.
It's a buy-in.
A lot of those pre-match hype packages.
Yeah.
Those are important, though.
Yeah, but they usually replay them anyways. But anyways, we got the one match. Serena Deeb defending her newly won NWA Women's title against Allison Kay. So, you know, I'm all for getting a second women's match on the show.
Two. Way to go, AEW.
Yeah.
Got 2 of them on the card here.
And it seems like, you know, this NWA title might be here to stay for a little bit. So might as well use it, right?
Might as well.
But anyways, the match was fine. Eventually, Deeb applies the Serenity Lock, as she calls it. Gets a submission win, retains the title. But then after the match, the big news is Thunder Rosa comes out to confront her. So further stirring the pot of her status as a free agent, or who knows. Doesn't seem like WWE at this point if she's still showing up on AEW.
And Thunder Rosa coming there, I feel like, was the biggest part of the match.
Yeah.
Her bit at the end. And yeah, you're right. I guess if she's shown up, it's not like I don't think WWE would be cool with, you know, her doing a bunch of appearances in AEW. You know, I don't think that would kind of fly.
Yeah. Unless they're like, hey, look, we just stole her. She was on TV for you.
That's a good point. That's a good point. But we've been saying for weeks, let's fucking boost up the quality of this women's division. And
yeah, I'm just happy to see more of them on TV. So
yeah,
I'll take it.
Amen.
But let's kick into the main show. And they're kicking it off with a bang, a big bang. Kenny Omega taking on Adam Hangman Page. We're jumping right into the finals of the World Title Eliminator Tournament.
Might as well kick it off. We have New Japan's Don Callis sitting down there on commentary. Another Winnipeg boy.
Yes, called many of Kenny's big moments across the world. But yeah, man, this match we were all very anticipated. A little surprised opening the show, but why not? Makes, you know.
I mean, it's going to be a hot opening. It's going to be a hot opening.
So we just got a bunch of great wrestling. Both men sacrificing their body, jumping off barricades, diving to the floor. Paige hits a pop-up powerbomb on the ramp. Kenny hits a bunch of V-triggers. Hangman hits the Deadeye at one point for a big near fall. We haven't seen him pull that move out too often these days.
And because we've just been all we've been seeing is that was that V trigger buckshot combo.
Yeah, so I like to see that move, but big kick out there. Kenny Omega hits the Tiger Driver 98, and we both kind of gasped as that was the one where he just dropped Hangman like right on his head.
Right on his head. Huge supporters of head bumps here over the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
Big old supporters of head bumps.
So that was a great one. Hangman does go for that buckshot lariat, but Kenny's got it so well scouted. He just keeps ducking it, hits some more V triggers. He hoists Hangman up on his shoulders. Page is trying to fight out, but Kenny hits the one-winged angel. And that's it. Omega is your winner, getting that future world title shot.
Getting the future world title shot. God, imagine having to follow up this match. There would have been no good first match to have to follow up on. This was hot. This was long.
Yeah, even still,
Hell
though,
of a match.
I think we were both a little bit surprised that it ended when it did. It was only like 16 minutes. Not that that's short, but I thought going in, maybe this would be a 25-minute. But, I think maybe they're saving that big match for when Omega's the champ.
And then
Page is the challenger.
Page is coming back up.
Yeah.
And
so they left a little bit on the table. It was still a great match, but they left a little bit there,
Fantastic. No, that's exactly right. It's Kenny Omega's time.
Yeah. He's on his way. The cleaner's back.
Mm-hmm.
He's
his little cape with the one one wing.
Or as I call him, the sweeper.
The sweeper?
Because I botched it one time.
Oh, you botched it.
I'm like, here comes the sweeper. And you're like, you mean the cleaner?
Yeah. Oh, shit, I don't remember that.
That was like episode 45.
Oh, God. Let's go back. Check the archives on that one. Yes. Fantastic match. Where Adam Page goes from here, does he go deeper into the booze hole?
I don't know. I mean, he seems...
Does he fall off the wagon?
The elite are all kind of doing their things, and Page is like the most pure babyface of them at the moment. The only one he's hurting is himself with his drinking.
Yeah, and that's such a sympathetic, way to go down.
Yeah. So, well, we'll see. At least he doesn't ride that horse out anymore.
Amen.
He's drunk. But yeah, like you said, you start off with a hot match. I guess this is probably the match. Orange Cassidy taking on John Silver. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you follow it up. I mean, everyone loves Orange Cassidy, but do you think he might be getting a little overexposed at this point? Yeah,
this was one of those matches that, didn't have to happen. And as soon as something doesn't have to happen, you start to wonder to yourself,
Yeah, I mean,
this was a feud that was kind of built. It's been building on being the elite. Of course, I've been tossing that in there. And John Silver is super strong and impressive. Don't get me wrong. But,
he was flexing all match, showing off those.
It was wild. I was watching him and Brian Cage in this match in PWG like years ago, where they start doing bits like Brian Cage is obviously fucking manhandling this guy, but then John Silver's they go through a bit where Brian Cage does a bunch of shit, and then John Silver does the exact same shit to Brian Cage, and just a lot of those like fucking drill claws and gorilla presses and stuff. Dude's super strong, but so anything I gotta say right now is just we need to chill on the OC.
Yeah, and I mean, since Brody Lee's been gone, John Silver's kind of taken over as the bit of a leader here.
Yeah,
at least the mouthpiece.
Where's Brody? Where is Brody Lee, Mr. Brody Lee?
It's been like a month, but Silver really strong here. He does like a one-arm military press at one point. His move, the Spin Doctor, which is almost like a reverse F10. Then he even rips the damn pockets right out of Orange Cassidy's pants at one point.
So he had nothing to put in. That was a baller move.
Yeah, but then the finish comes when he tries to do Mr. Brody Lee's discus lariat, but Cassidy avoids it, hits the orange punch, followed by the beach break, gets himself a win. I guess he needed a win. He lost like 3 TNT title matches in a row.
Yeah, he lost a bunch in a row. Looking at the rest of the card, this was the only match that you could have put second.
It was like a dynamite match.
It's almost like this match was booked just so it could go after this insanely hot match, because there would have been no one else. You would have had to put the women's match, and that just would have been not fair.
It was already. Well, they kind of did that anyways.
Yeah.
Because coming up next, we have Cody Rhodes and I emphasize the Rhodes, defending his TNT title against Darby Allin.
Yeah, feels great that we can, like, we don't accidentally say it now.
Yeah, I mean, Justin Roberts, he made a point when he was announcing him to say Rhodes, and it got a nice pop from the crowd.
Oh, of course. Check your Twitter, check your Instagrams, at Cody Rhodes. Buy the shirt, AEWshop.com. Scan it.
Yeah. And then Darby Allin comes in, driving some beat-up, dusty old car. Smashes the windshield with his skateboard. I don't know. There was somebody driving it.
There's somebody driving it.
Yeah. But anyways, we know these two can have a great match. They've done it already. But this is just another good chapter here. Cody's working over Darby's arm. I think at one point he hits an avalanche crossroads off the top rope.
Off the top rope. That was a big one. Oh, yeah.
I thought that might have been it. But when he covers Darby, the ref stops the count at 2 because Darby's arm is underneath the rope. So he stays alive. He fights back. He hits a coffin drop, but then Cody kicks out at 2. So they have this sequence of pin attempt reversals where they're going back and forth, and it finally ends with Darby pinning Cody down for the 3. We got a new TNT champion.
Ooh, boy. This was a pop. This was a big pop for all of us.
You and I were both very pro Darby this match. We were very hyped.
Pro Darby, and through the list of AEW champions, people to hold that AEW belt, truly the first, or what feels like a homegrown talent. I mean,
someone that you didn't know before AEW existed.
Someone you didn't know before AEW existed. That's exactly right. And to see Darby Allin kind of raise, well, he doesn't have much of an opportunity to raise the gold at the end, because fucking FTW champ and Cage and Starks and Taz.
Team Taz.
Fuck, I'm dying. I don't like
cut the crap. Cut this crap.
I don't like Team Taz.
Yeah, you two get your bitch asses in the back. Then Brian Cage, Ricky Starks come out and they jump. They give him
the old beat down.
Yeah, I think Darby, they throw Darby through some prop, the old stage. I don't know. It's like a Full Gear sign.
Yeah, the old, I think...
it's like a spotlight or something.
Yeah, I think Omega went through like the exact same looking thing last Full Gear.
Yeah, maybe that's just the Full Gear props.
Yeah.
I don't know. But anyways, then they bring Darby over to the car. They wedge his arm in the door. They're ready to break his damn arm when good guy Will Hobbs just comes in to make the save. He always shows up just in time.
Yeah.
But we're still waiting for that 6-man tag match, though. We're wondering if it'll ever happen.
If it'll ever happen. Lance Archer, who the heck knows? I don't like Team Taz. I'm just gonna say it.
Just like more than heel don't like him. You just don't like him in general.
I just don't like him. I don't like him. I don't like I don't like the way his voice sounds.
So you don't like Taz?
I don't think I like Taz. I don't like Starks and Cage. I don't get it.
I thought you liked Cage though.
I do like Cage. I don't like Starks and Cage.
Okay, but do you like Starks on his own?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
there's just a lot or maybe there's just a lot that I haven't got on board with yet.
No, I mean Starks hasn't done a whole lot for me either. He's kind of, I don't know, something about him.
Yeah, because how long has this Team Taz been going at? Were they going after Cody this whole time, or Darby this whole time, or both?
I think they just want the gold.
Because they weren't going after Brody Lee.
No, I think at that time maybe Cage was still mixing it up with Moxley. So
okay, could have been the same time, and then Brody Lee loses the belt, Cody gets it, and then Team Taz hops in.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they just want the gold. Maybe they can team up and set their sights on the Young Bucks or something.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll see more from Team Taz this week. But our next match, we head over some women's action. Yeah,
I mean, like you said, it still has to kind of follow a hot match because that Darby-Cody match was pretty good.
Yeah.
So Hikaru Shida defending AEW Women's title against Nyla Rose, a match that had very little build, not much of a feud going at all. But for me, the hottest part of this was Nyla's outfit, as she had an awesome Mega Man inspired. The whole blue and the arm with the Mega Buster. Yeah, that was my biggest takeaway from
my biggest take. Well, it's great. It's great when we should all be paying attention to ring attire.
Yeah,
it is a very important thing.
I mean,
Don't get me
it's
wrong.
one of the top 5 things. I don't know. Vicky Guerrero was there in Nyla's corner, squawking away, attacking Shida with a kendo stick behind the ref's back. The match itself was all right. It was fine, but I guess Shida shows a little bit of impressive strength when she hits the Falcon Arrow on Nyla off the second turnbuckle, mind you. But then, eventually Shida hits her Tomashi and a couple more big knee strikes to Nyla, gets the pin, retains the title. And then afterwards, Vicky slaps Nyla and walks off.
Yeah, you're right. When there's nothing at stake, when no build, no real reason for us to be excited about it, what do we do?
Where was Britt Baker? That's what I want.
Yeah, where's Britt Baker?
Why are they wait? Why wait?
Swole.
We all know that she's the eventual.
But I feel as though with Britt Baker right now, there's no one for her to have a good enough match with.
What's your girl Anna Jay doing?
She's probably also not very. I like Anna Jay for her previous gimmick.
Well, that was like a 1 week thing.
I know. It's been downhill ever since.
I thought you liked her on Being the Elite.
Yeah, I do. No, she's great. She's great. That's not what I'm saying. But someone like on the skill level, right? I mean, even I think the best women's match you could maybe book right now would be Britt Baker, Penelope Ford.
Yeah, that and whenever Statlander comes back from her injury.
From her high ACL tear or whatever it is. But yeah, that's exactly it. Like, I think with Britt Baker's going to win, she needs to win it well.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So maybe that, I feel like that's what we're holding on to at this point.
I just don't think Shida can get the belt very hot. She just doesn't have that same
oomph.
Yes.
That the entire thing's been lacking.
Yeah. But let's move on to something with a lot more oomph, because we've got a big tag title match, one that's been years in the making, across, the social media and
the Twitter, Instagram. I think this is we finally get the answer to the question, or the question that's been asked: who is the greatest tag team of this generation?
Yeah, so we got FTR defending the AEW World Tag Titles against the Young Bucks. And if the Bucks lose, they can never challenge for those tag titles again.
In their lives.
Yeah.
They would have to come back as Mike and Jake Jackson.
Well, for this match, they were playing as the Lakers and the Celtics. They had the colors going on.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bucks were the Lakers. But, yeah, this whole match was just awesome. They were doing like a greatest hits of tag team wrestling in general, like callbacks to the Hart Foundation, the Dudley Boys 3D, even DIY, the double kick.
The double kick.
That's an NXT. Those are NXT wrestlers.
And then they called it out right there. DIY. They called it. Excalibur called it.
Yeah. But the main story of the match was FTR. They're working over Matt's injured leg, while the Bucks are working over Dax's injured hand, which was bleeding. And yeah, it's great work doing submissions and just targeting those limbs. And
yeah, I don't know how the finger got busted up, but it ended up being a huge.
They played into it.
It ended up being a huge part of the story, and it happened super early on, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was great. We just get more great tag team moves, big near falls, Hardy Boys references, British Bulldogs, everyone fight forever chants. This was a great match. The Bucks, they hit the BTE trigger, but Harwood breaks up the pin at the last second. And then on the outside, eventually FTR take out Nick. They powerbomb him on the timekeeper's table. And then back in the ring, they hit the Mindbreaker double spike pile driver on Matt. But Matt gets his foot on the rope to break up the pin. So they remove Matt's boot and work over that injured leg even more. Wheeler hits him with a big super kick. But then he breaks the team's one rule of no flips.
Just fists.
Yes, when he goes for a springboard 450 splash, which he does execute well, but Matt avoids it, so he crashes hard, and then Matt super kicks him with that bare foot, and that gets the job done. That gets the pin. Bucks are the new champions.
And new. See, suddenly, at this moment, Tully Blanchard being banned from ringside,
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that.
That was very
crucial.
crucial. You know, of course, a man like Tully would have said, "Hey, no 450 splashes off the top."
Yeah,
That's
he would have been
insane.
yelling at him as soon as he was. Yeah, he would not have had that happen. That's a good point. But excellent tag match. Maybe just a notch below the
Kenny.
Hangman, but still
Hangman Page?
probably maybe the second best tag match of the year.
What was that,
in
Revolution?
AEW.
I was gonna say, this is
beginning of the year to the end of the year. Good way to bookend.
This is an immediate match of the year. AEW match, tag match, just general match. Keep this on your shooties list because it could be coming back up.
Yeah, and right after the match, Kenny comes out to celebrate with the Bucks. And then Hangman was just kind of watching off in the tunnel by himself.
Yeah, and the camera didn't focus in on him. We noticed.
I didn't notice at first. You're like, there's Hangman. And I'm like, oh.
Go, shit, there he is. He's kind of standing there drinking in the back. Doesn't come out to congratulate his team. Because he is still a member of the... But he's still a member... No, he left the Elite, I think.
I mean, we don't even know what the Elite is anymore.
Yeah, I don't even know. They don't even talk about it anymore.
Cody's not in the Elite.
It is weird.
Anymore.
I guess they've kind of left the term Elite due to just kind of the all elite wrestling.
Yeah, everyone's elite.
Like everyone is elite, right? Like the elite is kind of all of us now.
Yeah.
Speaking of the elite, coming up next we have the Elite Deletion. We're using the word elite a lot. We're using the word elite a lot for some reason. The Elite Deletion. Matt Hardy, Sammy Guevara at the Hardy compound, the sort of pre-filmed thing, sort of like we thought it might have been.
For everyone's safety, this was a good thing that this was pre-taped cinematic style.
Yeah.
So Sammy comes rolling in on his golf cart, but then Matt shows up in a monster truck, crushes the damn thing, but thankfully Sammy escapes him. The bell rings, match begins. Sammy hits a big moonsault off the giant monster truck wheel, and then they just fight throughout the property, across the yard, into trees, the water fountain, where Matt attacks Sammy with an object, and Tony's like, what the hell was that? Excalibur explains, that's the scepter of Mephistopheles, and JR. And then JR says, of course, everybody knows that.
Yeah.
So
that was one of his best lines.
Then they make their way over. There's some rings set up, so they do a little bit of regular wrestling there. Hardy powerbombs Sammy through a table, but then Santana and Ortiz show up, so they break up the pin, and they're all attacking Matt when he walkie-talkies to Private Party. So they show up, they help him out, and then that's when we get the fireworks. So at first they're just shooting them all around, and then Matt actually did hit Sammy with some shots there.
There was a couple there, and they even got some slow-mo cuts on Dynamite this past week.
Yeah, I'm glad he got hit. He was safe.
It's harmless, it's just a quick little...
Kids do that shit.
Exactly. It's not that big of a deal.
As long as it doesn't get you in the eye, you're fine. And then Matt hits a big twist of fate into like this mud pit, and Sammy just spikes himself all the time.
Everything is a spike.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic.
And then that's when the Hurricane shows up. He's being held hostage by Gangrel, of all people. So shit's getting real crazy now. Sammy throws Hurricane into the Lake of Reincarnation. Then he comes back as mild-mannered reporter Gregory Helms. And then eventually Sammy and Matt, they fight into this garage area. And they get locked in there alone. There's another ring in there. Tables, ladders, chairs, everything.
Oh, my.
So Sammy unhooks the ring ropes. He's trying to choke Matt out. He hits a big swanton bomb off a ladder onto Matt through a table. So they're going crazy. But then they recreate the bumps that Matt took before. Matt spears Sammy off the ring onto the concrete floor.
And his head is slightly falls off.
Yeah. They add some Hollywood blood. They use some camera cuts here.
Yeah.
And then Matt wants to pay him back for the other big bump, so he just grabs a chair and just nails him right in the face. Good camera cuts on that one as well.
The forehead shot, of course. I think the forehead shot was the first.
Yeah, that was the first.
The first bad bump. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's fucked up, and then when he's passed out on the ground, he slams the chair into a skull one more time, and then Private Party show up. They put Sammy in a trash can. Load him in the back of a truck, and Senior Benjamin just drives him away. As Remy plays on the piano. Rebby.
Rebby.
His wife.
Oh yes, okay, right, the big piano back there, and that was it.
Yeah. That was it.
and that was it. That was it felt. Yeah, I think there were points through there where it felt like that Bray Wyatt match.
Yes, yeah, 'cause it was. We even got the boat. What's his name?
I don't remember the
Vanguard
boat.
or something. The boat showed up at one point.
Oh yes,
tried to attack.
And the mower of lawns is the big one I remember. I think the mower of lawns was in the background.
I think that was just
of
it was in the garage.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was fun.
Well, yeah, and I think more than anything, it felt like the end.
Hopefully.
It felt like the end,
Yeah, I really hope it is, and I think it is as well.
Yeah, me too.
But let's move on, because
Moving on.
MJF is taking on Chris Jericho, and if MJF wins, he can officially join the Inner Circle, and Wardlow too.
And Wardlow,
Two for
apparently.
one. You get a twofer.
You get a twofer.
The entrances were fun because the lights go out, and we see the old glowing jacket, the pose, the arms are out, but it turns out it's MJF, who's got his nice robe all
That
decked out.
sneaky bastard.
Yeah, mocking Jericho's old entrance. It was fun. The match was pretty fun. Both men just being cocky, trying to outdo each other. MJF working over that arm. So when Jericho goes for the Judas effect later, MJF catches him into that salt of the earth. But Jericho escapes. And then Wardlow comes out. He hands MJF the diamond ring. He swings at Jericho, but Jericho ducks it. And while Aubrey's still distracted with Wardlow, Jericho calls for the bat, which Jake Hager tosses to him. So Jericho cocks the bat. He's ready to swing, but MJF just flips him the bird and drops to the mat, pretending he was hit, just as Aubrey turns back around. And then Jericho's like, no, he tries to explain, but MJF rolls him up from behind, gets the sneaky 3 count, so MJF's won. Jericho smiles. He smirks because he knows he got him. So he just shakes his hand and hugs him and says, welcome MJF and Wardlow to the Inner Circle.
And it must be tough to book a to book a match with keeping both guys heel, like keeping 2 heels heel. Must be tough. And this was fun. He does the old Eddie Guerrero at the end.
Yeah, they're both trying to cheat, but one out cheats the other.
Yeah, first I was thinking like, oh shit, Jericho gets DQ'd, and then like it doesn't count. Fucking next match. But yeah, MJF pulling out the little sneaky thing. God, this ring must be so powerful.
Diamonds, aren't they one of the most indestructible?
Yeah,
forces?
That is true. When I think it was like diamonds are put between like two, like an insane amount of pressure. Like, yeah, it won't crack. But I wonder if that much pressure can be created while you're just kind of punching someone. I feel like it would be more of like, it would leave like a hurting, like the indent it left on your face. That's
they're
what would hurt.
Yeah, they're obviously overdoing the impact.
I don't think they are. I don't know. You see Sean Spears get that little roll of pennies in there. That would hurt.
Well, that's more. One ring is just one ring. Your finger. Your punches and concentrated
then he put it down
one finger.
Then he put down his pants at the end, so Aubrey Edwards didn't see it. And I was like,
Wow.
God, he better watch that before he gives it back to Wardlow.
That's Wardlow's job. But yes, good stuff. Good stuff. But we got one more match here. The main event of the evening, Jon Moxley defending his AEW World Championship against Eddie Kingston in an I Quit match. First ever for AEW.
First ever. Wow.
Yeah, and they took advantage. They're getting stiff early on. They're chucking chairs at each other's heads. Mox brings out the barbed wire bat. He gets cut open early on above his eye as well. Eddie Kingston was bleeding from the mouth, so I don't know what happened there.
I don't know what happened there.
Then Eddie just takes some barbed wire off the bat, wraps it around his fist, just starts pounding on Moxley with that. We got some table chairs set up. I feel like this past 2 or 3 weeks, every brand has done a couple table chair spots.
Yeah, or maybe the table chair is just a lot. It happens a lot more than we notice.
Well, I've been noticing it recently, but Kingston's a good guy for bumping on it because they just like crush under his weight when he gets suplexed on it.
Yeah, the bigger you are, the more likely the chair is just gonna fucking snap.
Yeah. Then soon after that, Eddie brings out the old bag of thumbtacks and pours them in the corner. And then he slams Moxley down hard onto the pile. So, Moxley just got tacks all over his back, in his arms. He's bleeding from the wounds. But then Kingston grabs a bottle of rubbing alcohol to make it even worse. Pours it all over the punctures.
I felt that one.
Yeah, I was hoping it was lighter fluid at one point.
You were. That would be...
Set him on fire!
Poured it on his flesh.
Yeah. But then he grabs a handful of the tacks and just smacks Moxley in the face. And some of the tacks were just sticking right out of his head. So that's real, folks.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
But Moxley fights back. He hits the paradigm shift. And then he wraps the barbed wire around his arm and applies the bulldog choke with the barbed wire. Kingston has no choice. He doesn't want to die, so he quits. Mox retains.
Jon Moxley has been in a lot of these grueling, heavy, uncomfortably violent matches.
Renee Young's always at home like, oh my god.
Oh my god, I feel so bad for her just watching it happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the level of violence this was needed for these two men who not hell bent on not quitting after that mom promo they had last week, the telenovela. It was going to be bloody. It was going to be this, and Eddie Kingston. He's been on the independent scene for how he keeps it 25 years, whatever he keeps saying.
18 years.
18 years. And he just main evented a pay-per-view.
Yeah,
and a pretty damn good match. So that's kind of cool. This, it's the dream is never over. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and this is just because he lost. This doesn't mean this is his last opportunity ever.
No, that's exactly it.
And then afterwards, Moxley helps Eddie up, but Eddie just shoves him away, and he walks off. So Moxley's celebrating, and then Kenny Omega comes out for a stare down. Because we know that's going to be the future title.
Well, yeah, that's the Moxley's got his sights set on Kenny. That was last Full Gear where they had their unsanctioned lights out after show match.
Yeah, was that the one with the barbed wire spider web?
The barbed wire spider webs that they needed people to help them come out of. Wow, that was what a spot that was, and that was 19's Full Gear. Oh my god.
Yeah, the first ever.
Well, there you have it. That was the entire Full Gear pay-per-view. Can't wait. We have they announced Revolution, which is in February. So now we're just on our normal kind of Dynamite grind.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? They could come up with something special in between.
Oh yeah, maybe some kind of one of their weekly or one what's the word I'm looking for? Fucking just one special event.
Wednesday
type.
special, yeah.
Yeah, and then that's great. Well, yeah, that was the Full Gear pay-per-view. Let's move on with the show then, shall we? Because we gotta start handing out some titles that have gone forgotten in past weeks. So let's crown a new Tweet of the Week champion. It's the Tweet of the Week. It's the Tweet of the Week. Yeah.
Let's get at it.
Big week for the United States of America, of course. Right?
Of course. The election week, as it were.
As it were, and as it probably will be. Of course, a member of the Republican cabinet, of course. You may know her as the administrator of the small businesses, or you may know her as Linda McMahon. Because she tweeted out earlier on the week, stand with President Donald Trump for a fair count of legal votes. Ignoring court orders and breaking state laws is the opposite. We must continue the challenge. Which, there's a lot of people out there. They want the recount. They're not quite convinced.
Mm-hmm.
But we got to give this week's Tweet of the Week champion to a man who's already won this before, a man by the name of Mike Kanellis, official two-time Tweet of the Week champion, who responds to Linda McMahon by saying, America has come to terms of release with Donald Trump. We wish him the best in his future endeavors.
Hey-oh.
The releasing is an event in professional wrestling history which will always be remembered. We got Screwjob. We got Hogan in NWO. And we got the releasing. There's 3 things that have ever happened in professional. Oh, and Kofi. There's 4 things that have ever happened in professional wrestling. And that's exactly it. Mike Kanellis, who he's on Impact. He's doing these like weird. There are these shows happening by some promotion, can't tell you who, somewhere in the United States. That's just kind of like a ring is set up in the middle of like a high school football field. You know, kind of like the outdoor thing. And then people are just kind of, they sit there in masks and limited tickets are sold to these types of events. But Mike Kanellis, you know, he's out there doing it. 2-time Tweety League champion.
Well, good for you, Mike.
Good for you, Mike.
Okay. Shall we move on to the main roster, as we call it, I guess?
It is time for the main roster. I guess it is this, the start of our professional wrestling week because, pay-per-views are their own beast, as it were. So let's get into the heart of the show, episode 101. Well, we're going strong. Let's kick off with some SmackDown Live. Okay, folks, it's Friday night. It's time for SmackDown Live. It used to be on Tuesday, but then I think it was on Friday before, though. No, wait, we used to film it on a Thursday and then release it. It's just SmackDown Live because it's still live, even though it's not called that. And like factually, I am still correct by calling it SmackDown, maybe like comma live, and that's
usually live. Right?
It's probably going to be live. We probably have some kind of card going, but we already know what we're getting. We know we are promised Sasha Banks and Bayley for that SmackDown Women's Championship this coming week.
Oh, yeah. No fooling around. We're kicking the show off.
We're kicking the show off with it.
Oh, yeah. So you know what? I was like, all right, this gives them 2 hours. They can just go the whole 2 hours.
They're gonna have a 2 hour. They're gonna have a 2 hour match.
Yeah. But yeah, this was a fun one. They're fighting on the edge of the apron. Sasha goes for a Meteora, but then Bayley just like launches her up with her feet. I don't know. It was a cool spot. It was like when you're a kid and you do the airplane thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Fly her like an airplane. She's boo.
Yeah.
But anyways, they're working hard. We got some other big spots. Dives to the floor.
Got a kendo stick, baby.
Kendo stick's in there, but the ref goes, "Hey, no!" So she grabs it, or he grabs it, takes it out of the ring. But while he's busy with that, Bayley slides a chair in, but Sasha just kicks it out of her hand and tosses it into the crowd. If this was a Thunderdome, someone would have been really hurt.
Someone would have been injured. I mean, of course, now it's just a little LED screen that gets smacked.
But then Bayley, she comes from behind with the backstabber, followed by the Bayley to belly, but Sasha kicks out at 2. And then Bayley hits her big elbow drop off the top rope, but another kick out from Sasha. She's kicking out big moves here. But soon after, Bayley steals Sasha's own move, locking in the bank statement. But Sasha escapes, and they fight to the apron once again. Bayley comes charging at Sasha, but she avoids it. Bayley crashes hard into the ring post. Looked like a stiff bump. So Bayley was dazed. Sasha takes advantage, hits the backstabber, locks in the bank statement. But then she makes it even better. She uses her legs to wrap up Bayley's one arm. This is a new improved bank statement. So Bayley's fucked, and she knows it. She taps out. Sasha has finally retained for the first time.
The first time ever, which they kept saying, and I still just didn't believe / just felt bad. It's been years, and she's never defended.
Well, as we'll find out, there's someone else that has a very similar position. As we'll find out on Wednesday. We'll get to that. But no, the streak is over. Sasha finally retains. Pretty good match. I still think they're saving that super blow-off for WrestleMania. Well, they'll get like the 25, 30-minute classic.
Oh, yeah. Maybe Sasha holds on to it till Mania. Bayley wins.
Maybe not. Maybe Bayley moves on.
Bayley wins the Rumble, maybe, and then takes it back.
She's a top contender for the Rumble, I'd say. That's for sure.
Yeah.
There's always the Charlotte.
Who won?
The Charlotte.
The Charlotte. Well, Charlotte's making it down to the bottom 2. I'll give you that much.
I'll give you that much.
The winner of the Royal Rumble is always ever going to be Charlotte or somebody else.
And I think at this point, if Charlotte's ready to return, you might as well save her an extra month and have that big surprise.
Have that big Rumble pop. I think they're looking to do. They'll probably do some kind of outdoor show for the Rumble.
Yeah, there might be a way to get fans.
Yeah, just in that way. I think just in that way that football teams have been doing so. It's,
pockets of fans.
Exactly. It's a percentage of the capacity, but it's still better than nothing. I think for the Rumble, they'll have to do that.
Well, they got to get those plans in motion soon. That's like January, end of January.
I'm sure they're thinking.
Yeah,
go to Florida, baby. Anything's possible in Florida.
Yeah, it's already where they're set up anyway.
Exactly. So. See, now you're thinking, Mike.
But as the boss is celebrating up the ramp, we get the return of Carmella, who hits a big super kick, followed by the X Factor right on the ramp. That looked,
on
painful.
that unforgiving Thunderdome ramp.
Yeah. So the big heel return. She's finally back in person after those vignettes.
Yeah, she's back and doing stuff, and I guess is next.
I guess
have we seen Mella Banks? Has that happened before? I don't think so.
No, I feel like they've never crossed.
Yeah, it's always been Raw and SmackDown. They've always been just kind of separated like that.
Sasha was on Raw for a long time. But, between matches, they announced Survivor Series. Undertaker's going to give his final farewell. No match.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, I was about to say. Hopefully, it comes in the by the way of a speech and not a physical altercation.
Yeah. Either way, I think this is a very final appearance of him in character, and then he's gonna let it rest in peace forever.
That's a good point. He will be. He'll then kind of be the man formerly known as the Undertaker.
Yeah, he'll never have to put on the makeup again, or the coat, or the hat.
And because honestly, that makeup, it's getting tiring. The coat's getting heavy. That's a thick, heavy, long leather jacket.
Yeah. We'll find out what exactly happens on Survivor Series.
Survivor Series is not. I'm going to say 2 Sundays from now.
Yeah, it's like the 24th. I don't know.
Okay.
It's coming up. It'll be here quicker than you know it.
They always are.
But then we go backstage. Kayla interviews Jey Uso, talking about him finally turning heel last week, going with Roman Reigns, beating up Daniel Bryan, and Jey just says, it wasn't personal. I did what I had to do. Family's forever. But I got to respect Kayla here. She was giving the hard-hitting questions. Just saying, hey, so you're only in the family if you fall in line. Do what Roman says, though, right? And then Paul Heyman walks up and is like, hey, I don't think Roman authorized this interview. So let's go, Jey. And then Kayla says, well, Jey, seems as if Paul Heyman has a better spot in the family than you do. So, man, I like this new fearless side of Kara, man.
And we've all what the professional wrestling world has been missing is a reporter with balls.
Yeah.
A backstage reporter who, is going to do their job, but they're not going to let you treat them like absolute garbage. Imagine if you were they just walking away. You know how many times does somebody will ask a question like, Baron Corbin, why'd you do that? And then Baron Corbin just walks away. Like, that's a dick move. Backstage professional wrestling reporters have to put up with shit their entire lives. Okay, let's just fucking fight back.
This is great. Uso even said, he's like, damn, Kayla, you throwing shade, huh?
Backstage Kayla repping one
She's
hard
tough.
For the backstage. I mean, look, Tony Schiavone got his phone smashed. He got super kicked. And, he was rewarded with a trip to the spa with Britt Baker. See, I mean, this needs to have an ebb and flow to it all.
Well, we go backstage where Ray's talking to Dominic, and Ray's freaking out because he still can't get in contact with Aaliyah. But he should be worrying about his upcoming match when all of a sudden he's attacked by King Corbin, who is the man he'll be facing later. Then we go backstage, or we stay. Paul Heyman's talking to Jey Uso now and telling him he got to run everything through Roman first. And then Roman comes out and says, hey, man, why were you over there talking to Kayla? There's a chain of command here. You want to do that, you talk to me. If you can't find me, you talk to Paul. And then, he just kind of questions Jey. And, because Jey was talking to Kevin Owens earlier, and he's all mad about that. So, anyway, Reigns tells Paul, we're going to take care of this problem. The Kevin Owens problem.
Yeah, I think this whole segment we kind of get a bunch of these back and forths between Reigns and Uso leading up to our main event, a match with Jey Uso. But yeah, it's this whole thing was just A+. Just this kind of back and forth interactions that they are having. It's great, and they're not stepping in the ring together. But I think eventually at one point, do we get this Mysterio Baron Corbin match?
That's right up next. Yes, King Corbin taking on Rey Mysterio, Survivor Series qualifier. But Rey still beat up from the attack earlier, so he doesn't even have time to get his ring gear, other than his mask. But yeah, Corbin's just dominating. Seth Rollins comes out to watch, distract him. Rey has his comeback, but yeah, Dominic's out there as well, so Corbin attacks him, and then Rey hits the 619, but then Seth starts attacking Dom. There was a bunch of shit going on.
Oh my God! No, it just fucking ends with Baron Corbin winning. That's how this whole thing ends. It doesn't matter because almost like doesn't even matter.
Well, Murphy and Aaliyah come out as well, and he's like, "Get out of here!" But anyway, so Rey's distracted, he loses.
See,
Corbin's going to Survivor Series.
At least, okay. You know, every week I like to, or I try to push skipping the 24/7 segments. You know, where because it just kind of it goes from like R-Truth, Gulak, and then back to Gulak, back to Truth, back to Gulak, whatever it might be, right? But at least. Yeah. The 24/7 segments are like, it's really 120 seconds of the evening. It's really not taken up much more time than that. Mm-hmm. See, the thing with this whole Mysterio Rollins Murphy thing is that if this was taking up 120 seconds of SmackDown every single week, fantastic. Let's keep Mysterio Rollins rolling as long as we possibly can. It's been, 7 months now? But the problem is it takes up a little bit more than 120 seconds and probably 8 times that. Yeah. You see what I'm getting at with this?
I get it. I mean, I'm ready to move on from it.
We're not done, are we?
Well, we're done with it for now because let's go to Natalya, Ruby Riott, Zelina Vega in a triple threat Survivor Series qualifier match. Because on SmackDown, the women have to qualify.
Well, there's a lot of them or something. I don't know.
Anyways, Ruby cut her hair. That's what I noticed.
Yeah, quite short. Yeah. I feel like she's done that before, though.
Yeah. I guess Shotzi's already got long green hair. We can't
have two long green hair and tattoos. Tattooed. That's too many.
Yeah. So short match, but it was from some fun spots here. At one point, Natalya's got Ruby in the Mexican surfboard stretch, and Vega just crawls in the middle to cover Natty, making a nice little sandwich there. Mm-hmm. But then Natty locks Vega in the sharpshooter, but then Ruby jumps on the front, locks in an armbar at the same time, so they both got a submission applied. But then Natty's like, "Hey," and she releases it for some reason, just as Vega taps out. So Ruby is declared the winner, earning a spot.
That's great.
Yeah, good for you, Rube.
Way to go, Rubes.
Where's Liv, though? Where's Liv?
Yeah, I know. I'm not. Yeah, this SmackDown Women's Division is hurting right now.
Maybe Liv will win next week.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like the whole Women's Division is kind of hurting right now.
I mean, they got Bianca Belair.
Or is NXT so good that it just makes all the other ones just kind of pale in comparison? Is that what's happening right now with women's wrestling?
I don't think SmackDown's hurting. I think.
Well, Sasha and Bayley aren't hurting.
Sasha, Bayley, Bianca Belair.
Okay. So yeah, we're on a bit of a roll. Okay.
But backstage, Street Profits are trying to buddy up with Big E, get some tips for fighting Kofi and Woods. Mm-hmm. But then they're all just joking around like, "Ha ha ha! Yeah, I'm not gonna help you." And as they're laughing, Billie Kay comes up and she's just laughing, joining them like she's in on the joke. And then she presents her headshot to them with a resume. And then Dawkins is like, "Billy, we was on Raw at the same time as you, man." And then they just hand back her resume.
Yeah, she did that last week. I think she was giving a resume out to Adam Pearce.
I think she's got a new gimmick. Yeah, she's got a new gimmick.
She's just trying to be involved. That's the gimmick.
Yeah, just kidding. Yeah. So, but then we got another Survivor Series qualifier match. Otis taking on Seth Rollins. Murphy comes out at some point. And then Aaliyah.
But yeah, it's almost like, no, this wasn't a qualifying.
We weren't done with that.
No, but see, it's like this wasn't a qualifying match for the Survivor Series between Seth Rollins and Otis. No, this was just kind of like a vehicle to revisit the exact same thing we just talked about. And see, it's okay after a few weeks. Okay, yeah, the first couple times your daughter dates a guy that you don't want her to date. You're kind of upset at the very beginning. But after that, you can't be more than upset. You can be, I guess, mad. You could be fuming, dare I say, but I feel as though they're all derivatives of the exact same thing, which is angry, which is the first thing you did.
Well, I think Murphy's gotten worse, though. At first he was being nice, and now he's being mean again.
Just him, his.
Because here he was helping Seth again, right?
Mm-hmm.
He like comes out. Murphy tries to interfere when Otis is going to hit the Caterpillar. So Otis charges at Murphy, but then Seth hits a super kick, curb stomp, wins the match. So Rollins going to Survivor Series thanks to Murphy.
It's just unfocused, uninteresting. I gotta say.
Yeah. I don't know. They should have split him up at the draft.
Yeah, or if you were bringing them both over, have them not be involved with each other. Because what happened to Dominic? Like, Dominic hasn't wrestled anymore because he's just kind of like a vehicle for like a match that isn't going to happen. Like, what's the match that's going to happen? Is it going to be Rey Mysterio and Murphy? Is that the match to book, or is it Dominic and Murphy?
Well, we're still not done.
Okay. How do we not have a match booked yet?
Aaliyah, maybe she'll get involved somehow.
Okay, what? Aaliyah Rollins? Is that the match we're gonna get?
Because afterwards backstage, Seth approaches Murphy. He's like, "What happened here?" And then Murphy's just like, "You're the Messiah. I'm the disciple." So welcome home.
You do
and then Aaliyah comes up again.
Oh my God.
Aaliyah's here still. She yells, she shoves. Murphy's like, "Please, I'll explain. I know what I'm doing. You got to trust me. This is for the greater good," as he holds her hands. And finally, that's all we have for them.
Okay, so but I feel like we're just where we were 3 months ago. So we just kind of like did a full circle and got right back.
But Aaliyah, now we all know who Aaliyah is.
Okay, great. We all know who a non-wrestler is.
Well, maybe she's in training. Maybe she wants to be the next Dominic.
Well, what happened to Dominic? We can't. The next Dominic is Dominic. We need him.
His career, he burned out. He had a bright career, and he burned out.
Oh my God, this is tough. This is tough.
Yeah. We had another sit-down interview with Michael Cole, Lars Sullivan.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically the exact same thing.
Still doing the same thing. Yeah, he still doesn't sound like.
Like, I hate bullies, even though I'm a bully.
Yeah. From bullied to bully or whatever.
Yeah. So, anyways, he's a freak. But main event, Jey Uso taking on Kevin Owens. Owens back to wearing shorts this week.
Mm-hmm.
Good. They're having a nice competitive match here when Heyman walks out, stands in Uso's corner. Owens hits a pop-up powerbomb, but Uso gets his foot on the rope. And then Roman Reigns' music hits as Owens is on the top rope, and he gets distracted, turns to look, so Uso hits a big headbutt right in Owens' balls, and then follows up with a super kick and the Uso splash to get the win.
The old headbutt to the balls.
Yeah, the Samoan headbutt is the strongest headbutt.
That's what they say.
Mm-hmm. So he celebrates with Heyman and Reigns to end the show.
To end the show, finally. God damn it. You know, I guess Roman and Seth are on the same show, and no one's ever we haven't acknowledged that yet. That's kind of funny.
Well, I mean, I think Seth knows right now he's not at the level.
I don't think Seth knows what's going on. I feel like they're just kind of stalling Seth Rollins until he can go on paternity leave. They're sort of
very soon.
Which is very. I feel like they're stalling him until he's like, okay, I have a kid now. I'm going to be gone for 6 months, and but like we don't know how to quite write him off yet.
Well, maybe that's why TLC will be the final.
I hope
the Aaliyah custody on a pole.
Aaliyah on a pole match.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, let's leave that terribly booked story onto let's move over to Monday Night Raw.
Let's get raw. Let's get raw.
Where there's not ever we never have a single problem with the booking on this show, do we?
We'll see.
We'll see. I guess we kick off this week's show with an episode of Ms. Mo TV or something. Are we calling it anything now, or is it just kind of them gloating?
It was Ms. TV.
It was Ms. TV.
There's no difference between the Dirt Sheet, but sometimes they just call it Ms. TV.
It's like whatever prop they want to use at that moment. They decide to use it or whatever. So, you know, it's he's plugging his show. What, Randy Orton comes down to the ring. You know, just normal, classic Monday Night Raw shit.
Yeah, he's like, hey, man, I got a team with you later, but you got the briefcase and blah, blah, blah. So eventually New Day come out. Drew McIntyre comes out. Everyone's brawling. They'll fight later. And then let's just move on. Elias is in the ring with his electric guitar.
We moved on so fast.
Yeah. Well, we don't need to let that one breathe, right?
Nope.
So Elias is playing his guitar, but then
Yep.
Jeff Hardy interrupts, of course. So, but we're gonna have a triple threat match: Jeff Hardy, Elias, and Riddle. It's no longer Matt Riddle.
No
it's
longer.
just
He
Riddle.
got the old Shorty G.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I heard that.
I mean, I heard, but
Okay, then you
Go
do
ahead.
know why.
it's a dumb reason. But. Anyways, this is the second chance Survivor Series qualifier match. So, good fast-paced stuff going on. Hardy's got Riddle in position for the twist of fate. When Elias comes flying with a big knee to Hardy's, takes him out. But then Riddle hits Elias with the Bro Derek, gets the pin. And the final spot on Team Raw.
The final spot. Matt Riddle's a cool guy, and I feel like he could have a cool match. And we don't get to see him have cool matches very often.
Well, they just, the NXT syndrome of when you get called up, then they don't know what the fuck to do with you.
Yeah. Who is the best kind of call up? I mean, I guess kind of there are a lot of people who have been called up from NXT, but in the way that you kind of know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the 4 Horsewomen are probably one of the best.
But I think they're in the don't count category. Because they came. Well, I was going to say because they came up and were like immediately in main events. Like now we sort of see a pattern where, Matt Riddle was called up and he has maybe had a pay-per-view match already, and it's been like a long enough time.
Recent call-ups. Yeah, they have.
Yeah, I mean, kind of like from the like Bobby Roode, Ciampa, or no, sorry, not Ciampa, like Andrade.
Yeah, no, they have a lot of those. Drop the ball.
Yeah.
But we go backstage. We catch the tail end of some sort of agreement between Adam Pearce and AJ Styles that they shake hands.
Shaking hands.
And then Charlie approaches and says, "Hey, what's going on here?" And AJ says, we're just friends. We're just talking. And then Sheamus and Braun show up and they're like, "That's not my captain." But then we stay backstage because we got Retribution. Mustafa Ali's cutting a promo. And they've got some merch now. They got a logo. Mm-hmm. It's like an American flag with an R.
Yeah, branding. Brand recognition is the number one. It's the most important thing for any terrorist organization. You need people to see. Have a logo, what you look like. Yeah, all makes sense.
So Ali's just talking about Ricochet, and he respects him, but you're a damn fool. One man can't change everything, so accept that, and we can accept you maybe. But, backstage, Drew Gulak approaches the Hurt Business, saying last week went exactly according to plan with him winning the 24/7 title. So, how about Phase 2? He wants to join the Hurt Business. And MVP says, we appreciate the interest, but we're not accepting applications at this time. And then Lashley just grabs him by the tie, revealing it's a clip-on, and they all beat him down. Truth shows up, pins him, wins 24/7 title.
God.
Yeah. Then we get Lana taking on Shayna Baszler. So Lana's in real deep here, and she knows it. So she just tries to get in some offense early on, but Baszler beats her down, hits a big vicious stomp to her hand, and then locks in the Kirifuda clutch, gets the tap-out win. And then afterwards, Nia clears the table. She's ready to slam Lana through again, but Mandy and Dana, they're on commentary. They stop her. They saved her. And then afterwards, backstage, Lana thanks them for saving her. And they're like, hey, we didn't do it for you. We did it to teach Nia and Shayna a lesson. Because, we're all going to be a team. We got to do this. So Lana's like, all right.
See, the problem in I gotta stop you right there. So the problem in trying to develop sympathy for someone is that we need a reason to like them again. I
love Lana.
But okay. So she was like heel. We turn her face, keep getting her bombarded with these table bumps. Wins a battle royal, more table bumps. She hasn't quite gotten the opportunity for us to rally behind her. She's just a person being thrown through tables. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but this is building. The Survivor Series.
So Survivor Series. Big moment. So Survivor Series, the big moment of where
sole survivor Lana.
She's the sole survivor, or she turns on her whole team.
Slams Nia through the table.
Something to that effect, right?
Yeah.
God, it just feels like it feels like it's such a long road for a very small payoff.
I'm happy.
Okay, let's keep going then. Let's keep going.
AJ Styles comes out with his buddy Jordan, the big man, to host a Team Raw team meeting as the phenomenal captain. So he brings out all the members, Keith Lee, Riddle, Sheamus, Braun Strowman. They all come out. They're all bickering as AJ tries to rally them. But then Riddle says he knows what to do. Sick code names. So AJ, you're the skipper. Braun, you're the mongoose. Keith, you're Bro Lee. And Sheamus, your name is Fireface. But Sheamus doesn't like that, so he goes, "Ha! What's your code name, Dopey?" And Riddle says, "How'd you guess, bro?" But then AJ gets serious again and says, "We need to be ready for Team SmackDown, so let's work together, be the best." But they still refuse to call AJ the captain, so Styles said he knew this would happen, and he already spoke to Adam Pearce to sanction a match, so we're going to get Sheamus and Strowman versus Keith Lee and Riddle, with AJ as the special guest ref. And yeah, we just jump right into that.
We get right into the we go right into the match. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think basically the story of the match is AJ just keeps getting beat up in the line of fire. Like Riddle's trying to kick Sheamus, but he ducks. AJ gets hit. He keeps getting hit, so he can't make the counts.
Yeah, he takes. I think Matt Riddle gives him a knee.
Yeah, he gets sandwiched between the two
Bro
giants.
kicked. Yeah, he gets sandwiched.
Yeah. Lee. But then that angers the third giant, Jordan. He comes in the ring, but Styles calls him off. We still haven't seen him make any physical contact. They're saving that as well.
Saving that for whatever it's going to be.
Yeah. So anyways, Sheamus and Strowman, they're bickering with each other, tagging in and out. Sheamus broke kicks Braun right off the apron, but then Riddle rolls Sheamus up from behind, gets the 3. So Lee Riddle.
So we got this last week just without Matt Riddle, I think. And kind of this like AJ Styles wanting to be the captain, nobody else. I guess this is going to be our Survivor Series story until Survivor Series. We have 2 more weeks of who's the captain. Kind of fighting each other to see who the captain is, and I guess AJ Styles is Mr. Heel Man. I don't like hearing Braun Strowman talk in normal sentences though. I don't know what's happening there. Have you noticed that?
What, like normal sentences?
Like
but
before
still in his Braun voice?
Before he talks, like, get these hands. No, he's speaking like normal sentences now with like periods and punctuations.
But is he still doing it with his growl?
No, more of just like his voice. I guess he probably has a low voice, just because he's such a big dude.
Yeah.
Unlike Lars Sullivan, but he does have. I don't know. Maybe that means I don't know if we're turning Braun face again. Or I don't know. Stay tuned for Braun Strowman's full. Stay tuned for Braun Strowman's full sentences because it's coming up.
I just know he's got those gloves clipped to his belt.
Yeah, it's coming up. Just wait.
Okay. But we go backstage. Alexa Bliss is hanging out, just plucking some flower petals. When Nikki Cross approaches, Lexi's all happy. "Hi, Nikki. I feel like I haven't seen you in forever." But Nikki's like, "I just saw you last week, Lexi." But she wants to talk about her and Bray. And Bliss is all excited. She's like, "Oh, you saw the Funhouse. I'd love to have you over soon for a play date." But she says, "Lexi, I'm not playing. I understand what happened to you was my fault, and if I'd been a better friend, the Fiend wouldn't have been able to sink his claws into you." But then Bliss just starts laughing, and Nikki says, "I'm sorry. I wasn't there when you needed me, but I'm here now, and the Fiend is just pure evil, so it's time to make a choice and walk away. You need to choose me or him." So she says, "Okay, I chose him." And then she just blows flower petals in Nikki's face and walks off, all happy.
Poor Nikki.
Poor Nikki, but hey, I want to see Nikki show up in the Funhouse sometime. Who knows? Corrupt Nikki.
Old school Nikki.
Yeah, Nikki Cross. MVP and Lashley come out to make an official announcement for the Hurt Business. Because it's not going to be New Day versus Street Profits at Survivor Series. It's going to be Hurt Business versus Street Profits because next week, Shelton Benjamin, Cedric Alexander are getting a tag title shot. But then Titus O'Neil comes out. He's still mad about last week when he asked to join the group and got beat down. And MVP just says, "Hey, man, just walk away. I respect your charity work. Just walk away. Titus O'Neil says, I will not walk away. He wants a title shot against Lashley. And Bobby just says, okay, you got it. It's going to be your first and your last. So we just jump right into the U.S. title match. Titus gets a little flurry of offense, but then Lashley hits a spear. Hurt Lock taps him out.
Making the Hurt Lock. Way to go. Titus O'Neil. Forgot he lived.
He's alive.
Yeah, apparently.
Doing some good charity work.
Oh,
But,
always. Yeah, I think he is a great at public outreach, terrible potential
I think that's why they
superstar.
keep him employed.
Probably.
I was gonna say, I think the
Probably.
only reason they keep him employed.
Yeah, probably.
Then we go backstage. Drew McIntyre and Sheamus are just bonding, having like this buddy friendship. I don't know what's going on with this.
Yeah.
They're just like, hey, let's go for a pint after.
Well, and this was weird because we're like almost 2/3 away into the show, and it's the first time we've seen Drew. That hasn't been the case since April. So what's happening with Drew?
What's the deal with Drew? I don't know, but Nia Jax is taking on Asuka. Non-title match. They're just going back and forth. Asuka applies the Asuka lock, but then Shayna Baszler and Lana, they're both there. They jump up on the apron. Asuka knocks them both off with her hip attack. She gets the Asuka lock on Nia once again, but then Shayna jumps in and attacks, causing the DQ. But then Dana and Mandy Brooke are there. They help Asuka. Everyone's brawling. The ring clears, which of course leaves Lana alone against Nia and Shayna. They clear the announce table, and for the 8th time, Nia Samoan drops Lana through the table. And then after she gets on the microphone in Lana's face and just says, you don't belong here. You're going to drag us down. Just quit. Harsh words. And that's the mentality. That's the storyline right there.
I mean, I guess so. My biggest take.
I think these are words that people have said to Lana on social media a bunch of times, I've heard. Just quit. You don't belong.
I guess so. That's right. Never give up on your dream. I couldn't really pay attention to this whole match, however, because right before the match started, Byron Saxton said, Asuka and Nia Jax in a non-title match, this could be a main event of WrestleMania.
Yeah, that was a little ridiculous.
Yeah, and it was just, I immediately had to go through all 35 main events of WrestleMania, 36 main events of WrestleMania, and to rank them all. And then I was like, okay, this match, I'll rank that match along with all 36 other matches that have happened.
I will say it probably would not come 30.
I don't think it would have come for absolute very last.
But pretty close.
But pretty damn
three,
close
maybe.
To the absolute. Byron Saxton, get off the fucking mic.
Yeah, that's either way. It's one of the most ridiculous statements.
Yeah, but like I said, just with this sympathy thing, we need to start doing it, or it feels like a dumb segment, just a normal, repetitive segment that we keep getting, a la 24/7, a la Rollins, Murphy, Mysterio. Like it just feels like another thing we're doing all the time.
Well, I feel like Survivor Series is the payoff.
That's the pay. Oh yeah. Well,
so you're gonna get at least 1 or 2 more weeks of the table.
Great.
Before it happens. Maybe 10. They'll get to a nice even 10.
Fantastic.
What's wrong with that? That's more. A lot of people don't make that many table bumps in their career.
I guess. I mean, that's yeah. I guess that's a. It's not quite a silver lining. It's like a bronze lining or something. I don't know.
Okay, I'll take it. But we got a 7-way match here for the 24/7 title. R-Truth, Akira Tozawa, Lindsay Dorado, Grand Metalik, Drew Gulak, Eric of the Viking Raiders, and Tucker.
It doesn't matter.
No, it does.
They all win it in various orders.
Because Tucker is now a 2-time champion. After we thought he was dead and buried, he's now surpassed Otis in accomplishments. 2-time champion.
Oh.
But yes, I'm pretty... but yeah, I think literally every single person in the match won the belt at one point.
Yeah, went back and forth, and just ending up with R-Truth.
He runs away.
My God, this was terrible.
But all right, let's go singles action. Mustafa Ali taking on Ricochet, and all of Retribution's out there with Ali.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? They finally let them have a good match. This was just 2 talented guys going at it. Ali hits an awesome, huge backstabber off the top rope, which almost seems like it would hurt him just as much, jumping around your back.
That was a big one.
But anyways, Ricochet fights back, hits a big reverse Rana, Then he climbs to the top rope. But then he sees the crowd of Retribution on the floor, and he hits like a fucking 1080 corkscrew splash. He just spun so damn. I couldn't even count.
I don't know how many spins there were.
Just like
just an endless spin.
So he takes them all out, gets back in the ring, up to the top rope, goes for a Phoenix splash, but Ali avoids it, locks in a Koji clutch, and then Ricochet passes out. So Ali wins. Finally, Retribution gets a nice win.
Finally. Oh, my God. Big step in the right direction for Retribution. Mike, and this really isn't saying a lot. This was my favorite part of Monday Night Raw up until this point, which, really not saying a lot, but the
match was great.
It was a very, 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 very good match.
Yeah, and Ali actually, Retribution not looking like a joke. Maybe now that they finally got their shirts and logos, they're like, okay, now we can.
I forgot him now. Guys, we already invested on the shirts. We can't go back.
Yeah. But then we go backstage. Adam Pearce is talking to Orton and tells him that next week on Raw, he's going to defend that world title against Drew McIntyre. But Orton doesn't like this news, so he just slams Pearce against the wall and says, you and the staff can go to hell. But that match is going to happen. I feel like we haven't had a world title match in Raw in a while.
Yeah. We I guess Drew's whole time, Drew and Randy's whole time have been escalating on these pay-per-views.
Yeah.
The Universal title was never defended on champion. Yeah, we haven't really had many viable threat type of competitors. And Lashley, Titus O'Neil, for you can make it for the United States Championship. I think I know how that's going to end.
Yeah. Pretty much. But next week, you never know. I mean, it's right before Survivor Series. If they... I don't know. I feel like... Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, what's the bigger
Drew
match? Roman Randy, or is it Roman Drew, or Roman and someone we haven't even...
The Miz.
Thought about. Well, I don't know about
that. The Miz could cash in.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it. It's going to be... It could be any one of these any one of these people.
I feel like Roman Drew, they might want to save when it can actually mean... Like, not just champion versus champion, but maybe for the Universal title.
Right.
Drew's babyface.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see. But in the meantime, we got a main event. Orton teaming up with Miz Morrison against New Day and Drew McIntyre. Pretty standard six-man tag. Randy just spends most of the match on the outside. I guess, I don't even think he tags in. He just says, fuck this. Stays on the floor and just walks away eventually. So McIntyre hits a Claymore and Morrison gets the win for the babyfaces.
Way to go, babyfaces.
Yeah. That was your end of Raw.
Oh my God, this was a really tough show for me this week.
It wasn't.
It really was. Just for me, the AJ stuff was fine, and then Ali Ricochet was great.
Yeah,
that's kind of where I got to draw the line this week. God, I hope we can, just make a little more excitement to whatever the hell is happening at Survivor Series.
Well, we got 2 title matches next week, so that should already be a bit of a
already
show.
Like a little bit of a something. Yeah, we need to see. Yeah, these women.
I mean, I could see the Hurt Business winning those tag titles next week, and that could be big.
Yeah, why the hell not? Give it to them.
Why the hell not?
Why the hell not? Yeah. Give it to him. And there you have it. That was the entire first half of our wrestling week. Mike, how about we take a quick break?
Let's take a breaky.
We're going to take a breaky. We're going to come back. We got some Wednesday night. We've got some trivia, so stick around.
Let's shoot. Yeah, let's shoot. Yeah, let's shoot. Brother, yeah, let's shoot. Yeah, let's shoot. Yeah, let's shoot. Brother, yeah.
Back here, part 2 of the podcast. Thanks for sticking it out through the break there.
Hey.
We
made it. We made it.
We made it.
We
made it. Wednesday night happened.
Yeah? Did trivia happen?
Trivia. Woo. Trivia. Woo.
Oh man, I was waiting. That was a great segue into there, wasn't it? I was trying to trick you by saying Wednesday Night Wartime, and you correctly fell into my ruse.
No, I called you a ruse. I called your ruse out.
Oh yeah, what's the difference between a ruse and a bluff? Oh no,
well, they're the opposite.
No, I think my ruse was that I wanted you to suggest trivia.
Oh.
So
By pretending?
by pretending I didn't think it existed, and then you would have been like, "What about trivia?" And then I would have been like, "Ha ha!"
Okay.
It's a small payoff.
I mean, it's what I wanted all along, so.
I mean, hopefully a hopefully a smaller payoff than Lana being the sole survivor and or turning on her entire team. Who even knows? That shit's in the rear view. Let's get our minds stoked for some trivia. I haven't had it for a couple weeks either. It's been insanely busy building up some of these cards. Mike, I have 3 questions for you.
I got 6.
Oh my Lanta.
So we'll double down.
Yeah, sure. Sounds great.
Double down. Okay, mine's pretty simple this week, though.
Yeah.
So we got a simple game of over-under. You know, over-under, higher or lower, whatever you'd like to say.
I also have over under higher lower what happened
This
first.
week?
Yeah.
Really?
Well,
Well, not what happened first. This is not what happened first.
Well,
That's a different game.
that's good. Similar, you know.
No, it is not,
Okay.
and I'll explain.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you a statement, which involves a number, of course.
Okay.
And the correct number is either over or under, higher or lower, you'll have to say.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So first, we'll start off with R-Truth has 45 24/7 title reigns.
Oh my god. Like I feel like that's so many, but at the same time, it's not enough. No, he set a record a little while ago for the most reigns. I think he beat Raven's record or something like
most
that.
title reigns, period.
Most title reigns, period, right? And I
Yeah,
feel
anything.
like that was like 3 months ago. And so much 24/7 action has happened in the last 3 months that I'm going to say that he actually has over 45.
Well, it's very close either way. He's actually at 44.
44 instead. Damn.
Yeah,
So you
it's
only
lower.
you only want one over there.
But let's do another one here. Because you tell me. Billy Kay is 30 years old.
And I guess even is not.
It's not an option.
That's not an
I
option.
won't try
Okay,
to
so they're
trick you.
always going to be over it. Is that
It's
not?
always going to be one or the other, yeah. And I
Okay.
didn't want to do the whole 0.5 like they do on betting.
Of
That's
course,
just
no.
confusing.
That's just confusing.
Yeah.
Really.
Let's just standard. Billy Kay is 30 years old. Is it higher or lower?
That's a good question. I feel like Peyton Royce is also like late 20s. Yeah, but how old's Billy Kay? Never really thought about it too much. I'm gonna say she's over 30.
She is 31.
31.
So she is over
Oh,
30.
we're shaving these off by the skin of our teeth here with one
Yeah,
year
we're
to
getting
spare.
close. Yep. Okay. All right.
Okay, so yeah, Mike, we're playing a what happened first / over under / same kind of rules. You know, it's really just 2 things, and we pick which one. Okay, Mike. So first, here we go. What happened first? Marco Stunt's birthday, or MJF's birthday.
I mean, they always mention how young MJF is. 23, I think, or something like that. Marco Stunt, I mean, because he's so tiny, he looks so damn young, but I think he's going to be that way forever. He's already maxed out.
He's already maxed out his tininess.
Yeah. Or like his growth, I mean, as well.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
That's his body size now for life. So I feel like he could be older than MJF, which is sneaky because he just looks, he looks like he could be in high school. So were you asking me who is younger or who's older?
Yeah, who's older?
I will say Marco Stunt is older.
You're saying Marco Stunt was older, and MJF is in fact older. He beat him out by a few months. Beat him out the difference from March to July. So what is that? 3 months there. But yeah, you are. But you are right. Yeah, they're both only 24,
Okay.
which is wild.
But yeah, Marco, it's tricky. It's like if he was at a carnival, those guess your age things. he could
You
probably win.
you could think they're like 37 and
Yeah.
ding ding ding,
Or 13.
or 13 and everything in
Marco's
between.
Okay. Now me. More for you.
More
So we
for
just
me.
did Billy Kay.
Okay.
You got that one right. So let's do the other side of the coin, as it were. Peyton Royce is 28.
Yeah, see, 28 would have been my guess if you were just like, how old do you think that person probably is?
Yeah.
If like in my carnival, guess the age.
Well, it's either higher or
So Billy Kay is 31. God, do I think there's 4 years between the two of them? Or do I think there's only 2? You know, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say. I guess it is only a 50-50 chance, but I'm gonna say I'm gonna take a guess and go under.
So she is lower than 28.
That's correct.
That is correct. She is 27.
Wow.
So you got it.
I got it. You know what? 28 would have been the perfect age that I pegged her at. Wow. You know.
So a 4-year gap. Yeah. You know.
That means she won. She won a belt at Mania at like 25 or something. That's very
title.
young.
Yeah, pretty good accomplishment.
Yeah. That those women's tag titles at such a young age. Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my next one. Bruno Sammartino, his legendary WWE title reign that will never be beat,
Yeah.
lasted for 2,800 days.
Oh, I feel like that's too many. Or is it not enough? Fuck. And I hope it's
One straight reign.
I hope it's like 2,800 and it's like, nope, it was 2,799. And I'm like, no. I feel like 2,800 is too many. How many years is that? Let's what is it? 300. There's 365 days in a year. So that's like 7.5. That's over 7.5 straight years. Almost 8 years straight.
Crazy.
God.
It's crazy, right?
I'm gonna say under.
Well, the exact number is 2,803.
I knew it. I knew
over.
it, you son of a bitch.
Then why did you say under if you knew it?
Because I didn't know it.
Okay. But yes, what a damn reign. That will never be beaten. Nor should it at this point, because that would be too much. 7 years of one person.
Yeah, that would be way too. There wouldn't be like a single. That wouldn't work with any promotion or fans or anything like that.
I mean, I guess at this point, Walter could do it with the UK title. He's already like 2 years almost.
Really?
I think so. I think since
Wow.
it's been like 2 years since he beat Pete Dunne. So
And even Pete Dunne held it for
like
a
500
fucking
days.
century. It felt like.
So we'll see. But there you go. That's my round 2.
And that's your round 2. Okay, Mike. Here's your round 2. So we're looking for another. Which is higher? Which is more? Okay. You know, you get it. You get it. It's numbers, baby.
I get it.
So which is more? Samoa Joe's reign as Ring of Honor champion, or the total number of electoral college seats in the United States?
So the electoral college, I guess, just from keeping, I don't know, that's like around 500, I think. And Samoa Joe, a single World Ring of Honor title reign, is that what it was?
It was, yes, his only reign.
His only reign was very long, so it's got to be pretty close. I'm saying they're both in the 500 range. No, maybe the... No. Yeah, around 500-ish. But so which has more? Which has more?
Which number is higher?
Yeah. Let's go with Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe is the right answer. Your numbers are a little off though. Samoa Joe's single reign as Ring of Honor champion is the longest Ring of Honor champion ever. He stood at 645 days.
Woo!
Is in his sole reign of the belt. However, there are 538 total electoral college seats.
Okay. All right. Let's wrap up my over-under trivia for you.
Perfect. Bring it on me.
So, there have been 90 different intercontinental champions in the history of the belt.
Shit. No, okay. Seems like a lot.
Well, it could be less. Could be
Oh,
more.
fuck you. Right. Okay, yeah. It's
Well,
gonna be like 89.
It could be 50.
I know, it could be 50, it could be 102. I mean, I guess it could be
Yeah.
kind of everything in between. 90 feels a little high. Now presumably we're talking about the IC belt kind of like throughout its whole thing.
Since it's
Right?
existed.
God, and it was like an NWA belt or a fucking
No, it was
WC
WWF
Oh,
only.
it was a WWF belt?
Yeah. So it came in probably
Yeah.
around the 70s.
Long time ago. Wow. 90 feels like a lot, though, especially because I think of, like, certain people holding it a lot and often, like Miz, Jericho, Honky Tonk Man, you know, kind
Yeah.
of representing long chunks of time with that belt. So I'm going to say under 90. Yes, under 90.
Well, there have been 86 different.
Yes.
So you got it.
That's
Yes,
still
86 different.
very, very high. I mean, I guess it's happening.
85 men and 1 woman.
Who won it? China?
China, yes.
That makes sense.
But yeah, I know that's a lot. I mean, there are a couple. There's some names in there that you'd be like, oh, wow.
Like, who the hell is that? Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, for the most part, it does change hands more often than the world title, so creeps up there.
Yeah.
Okay, but my final one. Hopefully this one isn't worded strangely. I'll try to explain it as well as I can. But so of course there have been 36 WrestleManias. But of those 36, 26 have been in different cities.
Okay.
So we've had repeats, of course. So have there been more or less than 26 different cities to host WrestleMania?
God, I mean, fuck. I think there's even because I think of the major cities. I don't think of anybody getting it more than twice. So if I were to think what cities I think would have gotten it twice, New Orleans has. I'm going to say a New York City has one of them, one of the cities within New York. I bet a Florida has. There's kind of 2, 4, 6. God. Yeah, this one's close, and I think again, yeah, it's going to be like a very close number to 26. Like it's going to be like 25 or something, or maybe I think it's more, or there's been less different cities. God, this one's close. I'm going to say actually that there have been. So you said 26, and I'm going to say there have been more than 26 host cities.
Well, there have been 25
Yeah,
different cities.
I knew it
so
was-
we have had some repeats. New York has had it 3 times, actually.
Okay.
MSG, the 1st, the 10th, the 20th WrestleManias. I think, yeah, there's been a couple. Florida, I think, has had it 3 times, but not all at the same venue. Like once in Miami, once in Tampa. I don't know. Toronto's had it twice. So there's been repeats, but overall, more than, 25 out of 36 is still pretty good.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be close to that. Close to that number
Nothing-
either way.
Yeah, all in North America, never outside.
Yes, of course. Well, I think that'd be like a TV time, right?
I mean, they could do it if they wanted, but yeah, it would have to start in the afternoon or something.
Yeah, or something like that, which I
Well,
guess
like,
would be great. Yeah, like if
They
it's
could do it.
if it started at noon and just ran
Like the
until 8
UFC fight the other
in
week.
Abu
you know.
Dhabi. Yeah, anytime they're in Abu
Yeah.
Dhabi, it's like the perfect
Like
timeline.
Khabib, that Khabib fight started at like 4 o'clock,
That was
5
perfect.
o'clock. Something.
Yeah, they all.
But anyways, that's my trivia for the week.
That's great. I've got one more, which happened longest, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Well, they seem to switch as we
Yeah,
go.
it's like the same theme. It's numbers, but
Well,
like
mine was strict.
But it's it's sometimes it can be all sorts of things. Okay, Ever. So first, Mike. Now we're looking at a length of time. So you're going to tell me which is longest. Okay, which would take more time. Okay.
Yes.
Which would take more time to watch the longest ever WrestleMania main card plus pre-show, or to watch Star Wars Episode 4, 5, and 6 if you just nonstop press play first until 4 until 6 nonstop. Which one would take you longer?
Yeah, so the Star Wars movies are like at least 2 hours apiece. Probably 6.5, 7 hours. But the WrestleManias are, including the pre-show. Including the pre-show?
Including the pre-show.
Because we had 2 hour pre-shows. Plus like a 5 hour, fucking even 5.5 some years. My God. Yeah, I think I might have to get the edge to the WrestleMania. I feel like WrestleMania 32 was like 7.5 hours.
You are correct. It was WrestleMania. If you wanted to watch Star Wars Episode 4, 5, and 6 nonstop, it would take you 6 hours and 28 minutes.
Yeah, that's not
all
too
that
bad.
runtime. However, if you were to tune into WrestleMania 35 and start on the pre-show and wait until the very end after the camera fades out, after Becky Lynch holds up her arm in victory, you would have sat through 7 hours and 24 minutes of professional wrestling.
Yeah, you know, they split it into 2 this year, and it was a lot more of an easy.
Digestible.
Yeah, I think that might be the theme going forward.
It's
I mean, if this is the one pay-per-view, you can split into 2 and still have just as much hype.
yeah,
I mean, Wrestle Kingdom already did it as
It makes
well.
sense. I mean, you know, so, yeah, something like a Rumble has to happen then, and certainly all the other themed pay-per-views.
Yeah, WrestleMania, people already make a weekend of it. They fly in. You got the Hall of Fame. You got the Takeover. Yeah, why not just wedge this in there?
And why not just have a 2-parter? Everyone would be better for. Everyone would be better for it. And there's your trivia.
There it is. Fun as always, folks.
We'll,
You know, we have to. We come up with all this ourselves, so that's why it's not there. Sometimes we miss a week.
Eventually, we're gonna run out.
There's only so many ideas.
We're playing games with numbers now. They're just based on professional wrestling. No clue or hint or anything was actually a professional wrestler or sports entertainer.
Well,
any
some
kind
of
way.
these things you can just know, though.
Yeah, that's true. I guess some of them, you know. I mean, I guess if you had an idea of how long Star Wars was, or you had an idea of how many electoral college
Well, I
seats
did.
there were.
I hadn't. But anyways, where should we head to next?
Let's head to Wednesday night because there's a war going on, and it's Wednesday, baby. Let's head over to TNT for some AEW Dynamite.
AEW. All Elite. They coming for you, Vince. Better watch out. It's too sweet.
Big fallout from the big show on the weekend. A lot of great shit going on Full Gear. And we actually kicked this week's show off with Team Taz.
Your favorite.
I know,
Your
I don't
Brooklyn
like-
boy.
Just can't do it. The FTW
The
champion.
man with no
Brian-
neck.
Brian Cage, the FTW champion, comes down to the ring. I think, like, along with Ricky Starks, I think Taz is on commentary, and he's taking
Yeah.
on Matt Seidel in a big opening match. Slippery rope Seidel.
Yeah. Darby sitting up in the stands with his belt. Just watching. Yeah, so Cage versus Seidel. They're fighting. I guess the big Seidel hits a nice Meteora off the top rope onto that ramp.
That looked good.
Yeah, got to have a couple ramp spots every week. But so Seidel puts up a good fight, some near falls, but then a really cool finish where he goes for like a dive off the top rope head first, but Cage catches him midair and just like right into the suplex, into the drill claw position. Amazing show of strength. He hits the drill claw, gets the win. That was a cool ending.
Yeah, it was a good. It was really fast. Brian Cage is like a very quick, movable guy, not like some of these other, not like other heavyweights.
Yeah, not like a Strowman type.
And when you get that like small guy working well with a big guy, you know, especially when the two can kind of hang together faster, fast pace. Yeah, great way to kick off the show in some non-tag team action.
Seidel, I mean, that's a lot of trust. He just dives head first and has to hope Cage will catch him.
Hey, man.
Because if he misses that catch, he lands right on his head.
He lands right on his head.
But yeah, fun little opener. Cody Rhodes comes out next to cut a promo and, you know, gives some respect to Darby. And he says he won't be seeking a rematch right away, so he'd rather have a rematch with MJF. But then all of a sudden, this woman shows up. Yeah, I don't know who she is. A black woman with blonde hair.
Jade Cargill.
Yeah, she introduces herself, Jade Cargill. So Cody's like, "Can I help you?" And she just kind of grabs the microphone and, yeah, Cody's like, she's like, "Cody, how dare you sit here, lie to our audience? I'm Jade Cargill, and I'm the total package, and I've been sitting on the sidelines studying the competition." And she's heard Cody call himself the Giant Killer. But she says, "What do you know about giants? There ain't nothing giant about you. I know a real giant, so watch your back." And then she goes to leave and then turns around and says, "Oh, yeah, that giant's name is Shaq." So Shaquille O'Neal.
The big Shaquille O'Neal reveal.
The man who was supposed to fight Big Show at WrestleMania 32. Still waiting to make his, I guess, singles debut.
Well, yeah, I think he had talked about, I think, a few weeks ago in the Twitter world, he had tweeted out about taking on Cody Rhodes and what that would be like.
Well, it looks like there's some smoke to this, some fire to this smoke. However, but Brandy Rhodes comes out though. She's angry. This is the most hood I've ever seen her. She just starts clapping at Jade, calling her bitch and this and that, and trash talking. Get your ass out of here, all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But then Brandy goes to leave, and Jade smacks her on the ass cheek. I like this, the balls on this Jade girl.
Whoever she is.
Whoever the hell she is. I assume she fights as well, a wrestler.
Yeah, she could.
But anyways, officials come out, separate them all, and but then back in the ring, Brian Cage powerbomps Cody. Ricky Starks comes out. They beat him down. So Darby Allin comes down from the stands to save Cody. And he's wearing a jacket that's just kind of got thumbtacks all over it, so he can just kind of launch into people, which he does, just stab you.
Yeah, just like a punk rock, like a punk rocker's belt, you know, like that kind of super stud.
More sharp. This is real tack. But anyways, and then when all the fighting's already done, of course, who loves to come running out? Will Hobbs just shows up.
Will Hobbs for the second time, like in as many days, helping out all the baby faces.
Guys.
Somebody's got to do it because nobody else is going to fucking help these people out. It's got to be Will Hobbs.
Good guy Will Hobbs.
Will Hobbs. That's what we should call him.
When we go backstage, Alex Marvez is interviewing Jon Moxley about successfully defending against Kingston in the I Quit match and looking ahead to the Omega match. But this whole interview, the audio was fucked up so bad. I don't know.
Yeah, and there was another interview later on with members of the Inner Circle that was also kind of...
Yeah, it was like they weren't getting the feed directly from the mics. They were just hearing what the arena was hearing.
It was something, yeah.
Bad echo.
It just felt a little
As a
off.
sound guy, I'm sure you must have been very
I noticed all of these little production mistakes.
Like the whole interview, like they didn't even fix it halfway through. It was just bad. But
the time I noticed these little things. But yeah.
The whole point of it was we do get a nice date for that Moxley versus Omega title match. It's going to be December 2nd, baby. Dynamite.
So that is two weeks of build and then the match. So yeah, way before Revolution. Obviously, obviously we can't fucking drag that out this long. We have 2 weeks of build, and I think Kenny Omega gives us a great promo. It's either in the ring or it's pre-taped, or maybe it's later on in the show.
Yeah, there was a pre-tape. I forget exactly when and when.
Yeah, he's just going on. I'll just mention it right now. He goes on to point. One other thing I love, by the way, Kenny Omega has no sense of style. I've just sort of oddly realized that, like, his clothes, you cannot fucking gather what his shtick is.
It's like big frumpy t-shirts.
Frumpy t-shirt, and then sometimes
it looks like
shorts.
They've been sitting in a crumpled pile on the floor.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like this guy has no closets or anything. He just kind of piles on the floor. Yeah. But he does, bring up a lot of good points to Moxley. This match is coming up, and he says, Mox, like, I've never lost. Like, we've never had a match. I've never lost to you in AEW, because if you'll recall, before their match at Full Gear last year in 2019, the lights went out and then came back on. Justin Roberts told us, he's like, the show is over. Shakunk. And, the match that they had previously was unsanctioned. This is kind of like, two competitors who have never faced each other in a traditional wrestling ring.
Yeah, I mean, I think they will just have a traditional wrestling match this time.
Yeah, this their first sanctioned match by AEW, and as far as Kenny Omega's concerned, as far as I'm concerned, they're both 0-0 coming into this match.
Yeah,
there is no winner.
We see the first ever world title switch on Dynamite.
Could we see Moxley's first loss in AEW? There's a lot at stake.
Yeah, big match, big match, baby. But another match that surprisingly became pretty big was this tag match here. Butcher and the Blade taking on Dustin and QT Marshall, the Natural Nightmares, in a bunkhouse match where anything goes, only win by pin or submission inside the ring. But this was like your typical WWE holiday style match where they just kind of dressed the outside of the ring with props. Mm-hmm. It was like a farm. We had bales of hay, cow skulls, just farm props. Whatever a bunkhouse is.
It's a bunkhouse.
I thought it makes me think of like a boathouse,
Yes, very close. Think about a boathouse, but for cowboys and ranches. Think about it like that. Yeah,
okay.
It was.
Well, there was no actual house though. There was just hay.
Well, I mean, obviously, you can't build a house around the ring, then you wouldn't be able to see into it.
I mean, Halloween Havoc had that tomb. It
was like a place. Yeah, it was a place where cowboys would live. Like I'm
not complaining.
Young cowboys on ranches and things like that.
Okay. Well, this match was a lot of fun. Dustin hits a final reckoning to Butcher onto a chair, and we get a big guitar smash spot to QT Marshall's head, which busts him open. Blade job, our first blade job.
Yeah, I didn't know that was. I mean, if you were to ask a blood splatter analysis, sort of, or like a forensic scientist, if someone were to get hit in the head with a guitar, what sort of formations and cuts would form? I'm sure that forensic scientist would tell you, oh yeah, big cut right across the forehead, horizontally across the forehead. That's the only way that a guitar would smash you up.
Yeah, well, that's just our first bloody moment of the match. We get a bull rope with the cowbell attached, and then the bunny, she pulls on some handcuffs. She cuffs Dustin to the turnbuckle, so he's stuck there for a bit. We get kendo sticks, ladders, fire extinguishers. Dustin and the Butcher, they fight up to the ramp, and Dustin hits his big bulldog off the stage through some farm scenery, some like plywood and shit. And then back in the ring, Blade, he's now done a blade job. And he does his name well. He's bleeding profusely from the head. He's just covered. So him and QT, they're both just bleeding warriors, slugging out in the ring. QT sets up a ladder and hits a giant diving elbow drop. But somehow Blade kicks out. But yeah, that crimson mask of his was flowing.
Oh, it was huge. It was huge.
Yeah, driven. This was dynamite. This
like
is a free
fucking
television.
the Double or Nothing match.
Yeah, this was television match for free. They're bleeding like this. Butcher and Blade, they hit their cool double neck breaker to Dustin on a chair table. But QT breaks up that pin with a trash can to the face. So Bunny's on the apron again. But then Blade gets bumped into her accidentally, so she falls through a table. And then Dustin nails Blade with a cowbell. QT hits a diamond cutter. And that wins the match. But damn, these guys over-delivered.
What a great match. No, that really was. And, I didn't think the feud was necessary to have a gimmick match like this.
No, they gave it all. This is like a pay-per-view call. This is a blood feud.
Apparently it was.
Something came out of nowhere.
We don't see blood this much on our television sets, especially not at, about 8:30 p.m. or 9 p.m. This was wild. This was wild.
Yeah, this was damn good.
Yeah, something that just sort of didn't expect. This gave me a lot of feelings like that parking lot brawl that we saw between the Best Friends and Santana Ortiz. What we thought would just be a match, or a kind of normal tag match, ended up becoming this wildly violent, very well executed piece.
By the end, they were just covered.
Everybody, I think Butcher was the only one who didn't blade.
Yeah, but his white shirt was still covered in blood.
Yeah, and he had cuts on his arms, and but yeah, it was a great showing for Butcher and Blade 2, who big fans of. But yeah, we just don't.
Even when they lose, they still look good because they're tough.
'Cause I think they've only lost.
Yeah,
or save the wins for Dark. I think that's what they usually do.
Yeah, but then Chris Jericho comes out next. We've got a podium set up in the ring and ready for the big induction. But first, he wants to bring out the OG members of the Inner Circle. So Santana, Ortiz, Jake Hager come out, but no Sammy Guevara. But Jericho says the show must go on, so we'll worry about him later because there are two men who are going to make the Inner Circle even more dominant. The new members, Wardlow and MJF. So they come down to the ring. MJF steps up to the podium to give his speech. He pretends to get all emotional and cry, and he wants to read a poem, but apparently he's just stolen some lyrics from Drake. Tana's like, hey, man, you shouldn't be here. But Jericho says, yeah, if there's an issue, it's on me. I made the challenge. I got beat. So I've been doing this for 30 years. I've got with this man, with MJF's mind and his muscle, Inner Circle's going to be stronger than ever. So anyways, MJF says he doesn't want the tension. He doesn't even know who Drake is because I started from the bottom. Now I'm here. So Santana's pissed off even more. But anyways, he's the Inner Circle. We're not just here to celebrate me joining. We're here to celebrate you, Chris, because it's your birthday. And then confetti falls. We get some music playing. And MJF has to interrupt the celebration for an urgent announcement because next week we're going to Vegas, baby. And it's all on him. So he just hands out the plane tickets. And Jake Hager seems to be won over by MJF. He was singing along, having fun.
He was the only one with a smile on his face in this whole segment.
Yeah, the other two were still not, but they're going to Vegas.
They're going to Vegas. First segment of the show, it didn't really hit for me. It's odd. It felt like a big to-do to really only kind of set up what will be a pre-taped Vegas trip for them all. Felt more kind of like a placeholder for the Vegas trip from this follow up from Saturday's match. You know what I'm saying right there?
Yeah, Inner Circle's Vegas vacation, but we'll get one more thing with them later.
Mm-hmm.
But in the meantime, your boy, Sean Spears, taking on Scorpio Sky.
Amen. Amen. Let's go. By the way, Sean Spears was on an 11 singles match win streak. I don't know if you knew this.
Yeah, piling them up on Dark. But
He's the king of Dark, baby.
One thing I didn't mention, I guess it was there all night. There was kind of a new outside the ring. There was just like a red carpet.
Yeah, I thought that was just kind of part of
there all night. I didn't know if
I kind of assumed that was part of the bunkhouse shtick.
Yeah, but then just kind of stayed there. So,
yeah, who knows why, but
it was fine. Just wanted to note that. But anyways, Spears and Sky, they've kind of been feuding for a few weeks now. They're having a good little back and forth match when Tully, he goes and drops the metal slug in the corner, and then he tosses another one in the middle of the ring to distract Sky. So in the meantime, Spears gets that metal, loads up that glove, clocks Scorpio in the face, pins him for the 12 wins in a row for Spears.
12 wins in a row, and I think with the first one of those on actual AEW Wednesday night. What happened to the rest of SCU?
Yeah, we haven't seen Daniels and Kazarian.
I think we maybe saw one of them individually a little. I think Kazarian. I think we got Frank Kazarian and Hangman Page. That was a match that happened. But yeah, I wonder why we just sort of dissolved SCU, or maybe they are people kind of getting some shit
got
done.
Nothing
on Dark.
for them right now. I mean, I don't know. The tag stuff was focused on other teams, and
Curious.
But anyways, we got Ty Conti taking on Ralph Velvet. Conti's got Anna Jay in her corner. I like both. I like Conti. She's cool. But Conti's not officially with the Dark Order, but she's still hanging out with Anna Jay all the time. So something's going on there. But Velvet's got Brandy Rhodes with her as well for whatever reason. So I don't know. But anyways, like I said, it's your weekly woman's shit. I'll take what I can get. Sheeta just defended her title. We didn't even hear from her.
Yeah, she didn't even pop up on the screen or something.
She wasn't even sitting in the crowd this week like she normally does.
Big Swole, though. Big Swole is the top power-ranked woman in the division. Yeah.
I feel like we haven't heard from the rankings in a while either.
I'm checking them up every week.
Yeah.
Most of them makes the men's and tag side makes sense.
Well, I think Sean Spears is in the top 5. He's like 5th or 4th. He's sneaking him up there.
No. Ricky Starks is though. Ricky Starks is our hot number 5.
So anyways, Conti, Velvet, they're having some fun. Anna Jay slides a chair into Ty, but she doesn't want it. She kicks it back out. She doesn't want to cheat. But this distraction allows Velvet to hit a big leg lariat. Conti kicks out. She fights back, hits a gory special into a knee. Whatever she calls it, she gets the win. So I like it.
Yeah.
Take Ty Conti.
Getting the win, the possible, there was a little bit of a disagreement between her and Anna Jay, while the Dark Order, I think we're just kind of standing there from the entrance tunnel, checking her out.
Yeah, so hopefully, I don't know. I just like see more for them.
Yeah, well, we'll get one next. We'll get somebody next week, Maybe it'll be Big Swole. Who knows?
Well, let's go backstage where the Inner Circle, they're still all pumped up about going to Vegas when Sammy arrives. And they say, "Where were you?" And he's like, "What? I got MJF's email. It said go to the beach. I was at the beach. Where were you guys?" And MJF's like, "Dude, I sent you another email that said to be here." And Sammy's like, No, I only got one email. But all the other members say they got a second email. So Jericho tries to calm things down. MJF's like, "Hey, man, I really did send that email, but here's your ticket." And he pats Sammy on the shoulder and leaves. Plans are in motion.
Yeah.
One guy's getting the little runt Sammy's getting kicked out.
To kick Sammy out, and because I think Sammy's the only one at the point right now where I think his potential is beyond kind of Inner Circle realm right now. I think to push him as the performer that he actually is, his in-ring ability.
He's got baby faced in him with all his high flying
all over him. It's just like written on his forehead, and I think eventually that's going to have to happen.
Just don't bring back the panda hat.
No.
We don't need that hat. But yeah, man, something's gonna happen in Vegas.
Yeah,
further
or maybe
cause.
MJF gave him different tickets, so he gets on a different plane, takes him
that'd be
somewhere
fun.
else.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
Yeah.
Eddie Kingston comes out just to cut another nice promo of Moxley made me quit. And I got to deal with that, but I'll never stop, and I will be world champion someday. But right now, I got to be the leader that I am because my brothers Pentagon and Phoenix, they're going to face each other next. And I just want to say you're welcome. And I will say thank you because this was another damn good match. We just got Rey Fenix, El Penta. Just jump into it, man. Some fucking good lucha wrestling here. Penta's at one point. Penta does this really cool submission I've never even seen before. He's got Phoenix in like a tombstone, but then like does like a sharpshooter while holding him there.
Oh, just while he's holding them there. Yeah, and I'm thinking to myself, like, how does the blood not just rush to your fucking head?
Yeah. So that was cool. But then Penta, he makes it personal. He rips a big hole in Phoenix's mask, revealing his face.
Revealing a
he's
huge portion of his face.
Yeah, a big chunk of the face. You know, we could see everything almost. Penta's even biting at the mask, ripping it, looking like a big heel. But then later on, Phoenix repays him. He tears open Pentagon's mask. So we get one of the best looks you've ever had at Pentagon's face. He's got this big curly mop of hair.
Yeah, he's got hair. He's got a face. I was kind of hoping that, like, you know, if one of the masks got teared off, it turns out that Penta is just some white guy.
Well, I mean, his face paint, he only paints where he needs to.
He was wearing
you get to see most.
He was wearing face paint, yeah, but we got so much of his
only
face.
around. Yeah, like Jushin Thunder Liger, when he gets unmasked, he's got his whole face painted.
Mm-hmm.
He transforms into Kishin Liger, but not today. We're just getting little peeks at their faces. And the commentary was great. Tony Schiavone and Kingston were just going at it, having some great arguments.
Oh, anytime Kingston was treating Tony Schiavone the same way like Britt Baker treats Tony Schiavone, which is just kind of like a respectful piece of shit.
Yeah. So these guys are having a battle. Phoenix and Penta, they're doing the old back and forth slugfest where they're just tearing at each other's masks, exchanging punches. Penta hits a big like flipping reverse DDT where Phoenix spikes his head for the first of many times because Penta then does more damage. He hits a big package pile driver on the edge of the damn ring apron. And even Eddie Kingston says that was a little too much. That was a little too much.
That was a little too much.
But he's still not done because Penta then hits a Canadian Destroyer to Phoenix on the floor. So Eddie says, okay, you got to call it. I'm a little worried now. That's his brother. That's his brother. But he's still not done. He rolls Phoenix back in the ring, hits another package pile driver, and finally, mercifully, that ends the match. Penta wins. But that was outstanding.
Wow. What a match.
Yeah. They tore the house and their masks down. Pay-per-view quality. And no, we got 2 pay-per-view quality matches on this show. Yeah, this was outstanding. And then right after, Kingston just gets on the mic, puts over what we just saw. He goes down. He congratulates Penta. And then he just like nudges Phoenix out of the ring with his foot.
Just sort of kicks him out. Yeah.
Yeah. Heelish. And then he just tells Penta, I'm proud of you. And you know what? You don't need that dead weight anymore. You don't need your brother. And then the bastard Pac comes out, makes his big in-person return. Then just cuts a promo on Eddie Kingston saying you've made a big mistake and gets in the ring. And he wants to fight, but officials flood the ring and separate them, so they don't touch.
Pac Kingston, yeah, they have reason. They have reason to fight, of course. Fucking, you know, Eddie Kingston choosing Penta, trying to separate him and Rey Fenix.
Stole the Death Triangle from him.
The Death Triangle.
Now he's splitting them up. You know, I almost feel like they should have just not played that Pac promo last week and had this been a surprise. It was not a big deal, but
yeah, I wonder. It was a weird promo. Like it was like, ooh,
cool,
creepy, interesting, or or like I give it an extra week or something. But I think regardless, Pac's finally back.
Yeah,
fucking fingers crossed, it's for good now. And even JR, or maybe it was Schiavone one of them. Actually, I think it was Scald brings it up. You know that this was the second time that Pac had to put his wrestling career on hold involuntarily.
For like a long time.
We had
well,
like the 6 months post WWE, and then he was flying high, and now and then he was in England for the last little while. Great to see that he's finally made his way back over quarantine
across the pond.
Across the pond.
Yeah, looking forward to all that. Damn good main event. We'll find out the fallout next week.
Yeah, we'll find out what happens next week. You know, we have some big builds. Maybe, you know, adding another match to this December 2nd card.
Yeah, I'm sure they're going to stack that. They're going to make it a super card.
Yeah, make it something that can kind of, you know, push them over in the ratings or, you know, what have yous, all that kind of stuff. Maybe some kind
December to Dismember.
Oh, I bet. Do you think WWE probably still has? Well, I think that was.
They probably still own that. Yeah.
Yeah, or you know, something like a Christmas.
But something they can bring back, the Christmas creature.
Yeah, there you go. There's some kind of little alliteration or something like that. The holiday
Havoc.
because we can't say Christmas. We do have to be inclusive here, right?
Holiday Havoc, and that's close enough that people, it's on the nose. You can kind of be like, we get it.
Like if someone's it's like haha, we get it. And if you search Havoc on YouTube,
but it's still not a delete ripoff of Halloween Havoc.
It's like just different enough legally speaking.
Yeah.
That
exactly.
You can't file that trademark. And there you have it. That was this. That was AEW, and it was a fucking fantastic show to a fantastic pay-per-view Fallout.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's
Full Gear Fallout.
Full Gear Fallout. Well, let's hop across the pond. Let's go across the pond.
Well, more like across the road.
Of television cable stations. You know, across the road, as it were. Just take a quick old jaunt down to the whatever it's called now, because we're talking NXT.
NXT. What does it mean? I don't know, but it's some good wrestling. So NXT. Watch and see. Gotta tap out a count out of 1, 2, 3. So
Capital Wrestling Center.
There you go. You had it. The
NXT, that's right.
Yeah.
So let's start the show. Johnny Gargano's in the ring because he's going to defend his North American title. But he mentions, much like Sasha Banks, he's got the same curse. He has yet to defend a singles championship in NXT.
Same thing. I was like, huh.
Yeah, that one, a little surprising. But tonight, he's got a wheel of challengers to try and reverse the curse. So he's got a wheel set up, a bunch of legit names on there. Undisputed Era members, Cameron Grimes, Ciampa. But there's one name that's been written on in Sharpie on this wheel, Leon Ruff. So he spins the wheel, which has been obviously weighted, and it's rigged. It lands right on Leon Ruff, the perennial tiny jobber that we have seen pop up. Never stands a chance, but he's getting a big shot tonight. This man's getting a title shot. So just like that, Gargano taking on Leon Ruff. Johnny's just dominating little Leon early on. This is going to be an easy squash match. Leon Ruff hasn't done a damn thing in NXT, so Johnny's in control. Then Damian Priest shows up at ringside. And Gargano turns his attention towards him for a second, but then he turns back towards Ruff to deliver a super kick. But Ruff ducks it, hits a crucifix roll-up, and he holds Johnny down for the 3.
What?
He has won the match. Commentary's going nuts. This is the biggest upset in NXT
in
history.
NXT history. In the history of the entire fucking promotion. Leon Ruff.
Leon Ruff. But this was great. He's in shock. Johnny, everyone's in shock. I'm in shock. I like it, though. That's huge, huge moment for a nobody jobber like Leon Ruff to now hopefully do something with this. But Johnny's title curse continues.
Wow.
So they're celebrating. Damian Priest puts the title around Leon's waist, but he's so damn small that it just falls to the ground. He's so skinny.
It just falls right off. Yeah, I think they have him at 150 pounds here on his official.
His first win ever in the company, and it's the biggest. So crazy moment. He's celebrating. He gets the standing ovation as he walks backstage. The nice moment. He still can't believe it. And then good guy Damian Priest, he says, "Hey man, in a second Johnny's gonna come through that curtain, gonna be looking for you. So here's the keys to my black Challenger." So what a cool guy Priest is. Just gives him his car. So Leon runs off. He drives away, and Johnny storms back. He's real hot. He's arguing with Damian Priest, who makes fun of him for just kind of causing his own demise. And that's it. The title has switched.
Wow.
What a crazy moment.
Yeah, that was. I was just sitting watching. That was one of the biggest. I never expected this.
That's what you
ever,
watch wrestling for.
Ever. I could have never.
Now anyone's got it. Any match, anyone's got a chance.
Anybody's got it on any given Sunday. That's what they say, right?
Yeah, yeah. And Leon Ruff, he knows. Even though he's been jobbed, he obviously knows what he's doing.
His
so he can have a little
former
fun.
Evolve tag team champion.
Yeah.
There you go.
He's been around. He knows how to wrestle. So let's
Exactly.
see what he can do. He probably won't hold it for long, but it was fun.
But yeah, who knows what's next in on the North American title scene?
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. But we got more championships on the line. The Cruiserweight title, Santos Escobar defending against Jake Atlas. But Atlas was smart, as earlier in the day, he kind of attacked Joaquin Wilde and Raul Mendoza with a pipe so they can not be as much of a factor later on.
Well, that's what you get for walking around the parking lot without without guns.
Yeah, basically. But anyways, we get a nice fast-paced cruiserweight match here. The other members of Legado do end up interfering anyways. They're at ringside. They try to attack Atlas with the pipe, but he avoids them, takes them out again, but then they keep interfering, so the ref just finally says, fuck it, ejects them from ringside. So Atlas, he goes for his cartwheel DDT, but Escobar avoids it, hits the Legado, and that gets the win, retains the title.
The Legado. It's I forgot that this was like a feud that was building for a little while. I just kind of forgot that. These guys can fly through the air. Is it a 5-star classic? No. But there really wasn't much wrestling on WWE this week, so definitely one of the best matches of the week, gotta say.
Yeah, it was fun. Mm-hmm. Then we got Big Bad Raquel Gonzalez taking on Xia Li, the match that Xia requested because of those letters. But Xia's nowhere to be found as Boa comes out and says, Zaya's not here, we can't have the match. Really sorry. So Boa goes to exit the ring, but then Raquel hits him with a stiff boot to the head, sends him to the floor, and then she just proceeds to beat him all around the ring and hits him with her one-arm powerbomb, leaving Boa laid out. I gotta say, Raquel looked quite good here.
Looking strong, looking like a monster.
Yeah, Boa's no Leon Ruff. He's a pretty good sized man.
Larger guy, bigger guy.
But then as Boa is recovering, the lights go out, and then we get like this dragon starts flying around on the screen, and that signals the arrival of this mysterious old Asian man. Just walks out, hands Boa a letter, and then marks something on the back of his hand, like with ash or charcoal or something. So something's going on.
Very ominous and mysterious.
Yeah. I'm along for the ride. We'll see where it goes.
Of course, yeah.
Is he going to sell him like a gremlin? But that backstage, we got August Gray, who was attacked. He came out and attacked Thatch last week on Thatch as Thatch Can. So Thatcher returns the favor, shows up, attack him, and they just kind of brawl around, and they bump into Dexter Loomis's nice drawing. They bend the canvas. Loomis is upset, so he just stares down Thatcher. And then Regal appears, says, all right, boys, all right. Let's do it later. So they'll fight.
So we'll get a fight between Thatcher and Loomis a little bit later.
Mm-hmm. But before that, we got Toni Storm taking on Candice LeRae. Good women's action here. They've been around the block. Still both looking for that big one in NXT. At least NXT North America. Mm-hmm. But anyways, they have a fun match. Candice pins Toni and gets her feet on the ropes for that illegal added leverage, and that gets her the 3 count. So afterwards, Toni's pissed off, attacks Candice, but then Ghostface shows up, helps Candice beat up Toni. So Shotzi Blackheart shows up to try and help, but Ghostface and Candice get the better of them. And then Ghosty removes her mask, revealing Indy Hartwell. So much like I called it.
Now, why did you think that? As soon as that happened, I was like, oh yeah, Mike called that. And how did you call it? Did you have any...
Because she had been, remember before, she sent them the TV, and then they...
Oh, yeah.
They looked at the Battle Royal, and she helped out Candice in the Battle Royal at first.
Right.
So, it was subtle, but I was enough so that I had an inkling.
Yeah.
So anyways, I like it. It gets a focus on her.
On her, and we didn't drag this out for too long.
Yeah. I mean, Ghostface appeared a couple times, and now we know who it is.
Fantastic. Yeah. now we can start writing shows.
Yeah. But then we get Dexter Loomis taking on Timothy Thatcher in just a nice heavy-hitting grapple submission match here.
Oh, of course. These Timothy Thatcher can slap.
Oh, yeah. He can just he can get you into any hold from anywhere.
And
around
he
the
gets
ring.
great. Yeah, he has great, just heavy hitting, makes a lot of contact, gives you that nice fucking jaw sound.
Yeah, working that injured ankle of Loomis.
Mm-hmm.
Loomis hits a swanton bomb at one point. Then he goes to lock in that silence, but then Cameron Grimes shows up.
Yeehaw!
Causes the distraction. So Thatcher gets the upper hand on Loomis. He gets both of his arms just like locked up and pins him down for the 3. So Thatch wins. And then right after, Grimes jumps on Loomis, beats him up. He puts a sack on his head, over Dexter's head, like Jason in Friday Part 2. But so he sits Loomis down on this chair and then hits a big cave-in stomp.
So was Cameron Grimes and Dexter Loomis? We were supposed to get it, but then Loomis got
we
injured.
had the haunted house thing, remember?
Right, we did. Okay.
Yeah. So now Dexter's been all creeped out. Now he's trying to get.
I don't like the Thatch Man being used to keep another feud going. You know what I'm saying?
One.
I mean, I guess he did get the win, right? I guess I think Cameron Grimes, Dexter Loomis is the bigger story here, and we'll see where Thatcher can kind of go. I mean, I guess you take the momentum of winning one week, and who knows where that can lead.
Yeah, I'm sure next week we'll have another segment, another lesson. But we go backstage. Johnny Gargano's still livid. He wants to talk to Regal, saying the title match with Leon should be thrown out. Reverse the decision. But Regal says it was your bloody idea. I have no reason to. So Johnny just freaks out, saying, I rigged the wheel. It was a joke, a goof. But Regal says the decision stands. Guess the curse is still alive.
Guess the curse is still alive. Yeah, no, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah, that was fun.
Regal.
We get a quick, we get one of those hype videos. What do they call it? Like point? I don't know. Io Shirai's defending against Rhea Ripley next week.
Point? What are you saying? Something.
I'm trying to think what they call it. It's like a video, but they always call it the same thing. I don't know. I feel like the word point is in.
Okay. No, I think like a vignette.
No.
Hype package. Yeah. Okay.
No.
Okay.
No,
I'll have to listen. I'll have to listen closer for next time.
Yeah, but like they call it that. Like up next we have the. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Point,
okay.
The point
okay.
zero. I don't
Okay.
know. Zero, ground zero. I don't know. Whatever. The fuck.
Right. Okay.
Anyways, doesn't matter. Pat McAfee comes out. He's got the brand with him. He's putting over his boys. He's insulting the fans, the internet wrestling community. Because we got 3 title matches tonight. And we're main eventing with the NXT tag titles. Oney Lorcan, Danny Burch defending against Breezango. Yeah, they're all there. Pete Dunne at one point is thrown into the commentary booth where McAfee's sitting and Dunne's boot just goes flying right into Pat's face. That was a shoot bump.
That was a shoot. Yeah, what happened to that? What happened there?
But anyways, Breezango, they put up a good fight, but they're in trouble when Drake Maverick comes down to try to help out, attack the brand because they hurt his buddy Killian Dane last week. So Drake, he's running wild. And then back in the ring, Fandango hits his big leg drop off the top rope. The same move that won him the titles, but Larkin kicks out at 2. So McAfee gets in the ring to distract the ref, and then Pete Dunne takes out Tyler Breeze. So Fandango's all alone, and he gets hit with that big double DDT. So Lorcan and Burch retain the titles.
Pat McAfee is still doing such an incredible job.
Oh, yeah. Great heel work, great talker. Then afterwards, the brawl just kind of continues until the brand stands tall. And then they all hold Tyler Breeze down as McAfee hits him with the big running field goal kick right to the head. So the brand.
The punt.
The punt.
Giving a big
Or
old
field
punt.
goal kick.
A real.
Does he do both, or is he just a punter?
He's a punter.
So,
This is an actual punter. Randy Orton can't punt for shit.
Well, we don't know. We've never seen him on the football field.
I guess that's a good point. You've never seen Randy Orton punt a football, until we do see him punt a football.
I think it's easier to punt than it is to kick a field goal.
I wonder. Well, I mean, kicking in general is just fucking a tough one. Well, because punting.
And punting, you just it's all on you. The other one, the kicker's got to hold it. And
yeah, well, of course, a lot of moving pieces. But yeah, certainly the arrogance of coming with a professional athlete is something that other heels just can't provide to you. Right? Like, this was literally a professional player for many years in the National Football League, and he'll just constantly hold that level of arrogance over top of everybody and making everybody look better in the process, or at least Lorcan and Danny Burch.
Yeah, I think he even talked about it, like his career earnings, like $150 million or some shit.
Oh yeah, he has more money than everybody on the everybody on the roster, right? Not to mention years of an athlete. You have sponsorships, of course. His podcast brand is larger than anybody else's podcast brand on in NXT. So yeah, I love using a lot of that kind of shooty things to really drive your point home.
The shooties.
Not the shooties. Yeah, it's a shooty type of thing.
I know.
A shooting.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe I should say.
But that was it. That was everything.
Yeah.
That was Wednesday nights. That was the week.
That was fantastic. Yeah, another great week. 2 weeks until Survivor Series, so I guess that's our build. We already know that NXT will not be a part of that. And we have this December 2nd main event, heavyweight AEW title to look forward to also.
Yeah, still no mention of War Games, so we don't know what the deal is with that.
Yeah, they haven't even mentioned it yet.
It's obviously not happening Survivor Series week.
I mean, and I guess, yeah, wherever it would happen, whether it be, that Capitol Wrestling Center or the, whatever it's called, you know what it's called, Thunderdome, like wherever they choose to hold it, hopefully we do get to see it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that'll be a December. Maybe they'll make it the January thing.
Who knows? I mean, our schedule is off anyways, so
yeah.
Who the heck knows? And that was the wrestling week. Let's cap off our wrestling week the only way that we know how, which is with the wrestler of the week.
It's the wrestler of the week, of the week. Wrestler of the week, of the week, of the week. The wrestler of the week, of the week, of the week. Wrestler of the week, of the week, of the week. The wrestler of the week.
We had a fantastic pay-per-view this past week. And I'm going straight to the pay-per-view for my wrestler of the week. We're going into the new champions, the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks just put on one hell of a hard-hitting match. I love it. So many of the moves that they do are so smooth. There's one adjective I could use to describe the Young Bucks. It's smooth. When Matt Jackson does his little, like, he's running to do a maneuver outside of the ring, and he runs up to the rope, and the way he just sort of like spins himself up into the corner to get outside to then deliver an awesome super kick or some kind of splash, it's just so frickin' smooth.
Everything about them. Yeah, this was a hard week.
Yes, a lot of very good wrestling.
Yeah, a lot of good wrestling. I mean, the Young Bucks, like you mentioned. But I will give it to... It was such... Yeah. It was a damn good match. Hard-hitting, crazy. Fuck. I'm just going to give it to Pentagon. For winning that match. Yeah, crazy match against Phoenix. Young Bucks were very close. Darby Allin, he had a great win as well. Even Leon Ruff was close for that crazy out of nowhere.
Yeah. This was a great week. This was a great week.
It was a great week. But yeah, I'll give it to Penta at the end of the day.
Congratulations, Penta. Penta and Ray Phoenix they rack up these wrestlers of the week. I can't wait for the end of year, a grand tally of everything.
Yeah, that'll be fun. That's coming up sooner than you know it.
Coming sooner than you know it. The shooties at the end of the year, of course, the year-end reviews. But that's all the time. That was the entire show. That's all the time we got for this week's podcast. You can rate, review, like, and subscribe. The show is everywhere,
All over
the place. And I guess that's all the time that we have. Thanks for checking in for another week, folks. And that's all I got. Mike, you got anything?
No.
Oh, that sounds great, baby. Okay, you folks take care of yourself. Bye.
Bye.